welcome to the show. Welcome to MazzaMedia. It's Sunday evening, September 21st. Not actually the first day of spring. The first day of fall. The first day of fall is actually tomorrow. So this is the last show of the what's officially summer, even though I probably considered summer over a couple of weeks ago. So welcome to MazzaMedia. Young Jurks raid is underway right now. We are doing basically a triple fundraiser today. And this is going to be hopefully a very, very engaging show in terms of donations. So I'm going to provide all the details you guys need in the chat right now. So there's defense fund links that are going to be pinned to the top of the chat all night. And you guys have the option to donate to one or all of these particular donations here today. So we got check my message. Sorry. We got the links at the top of the chat. Write Mazza in your donation. Now, just one quick thing. The Kelsey Fitz Simmons fundraiser does not have the ability that I know of to have a notation like Mazza. So what we'll just do is we'll just count it towards it anyways. And you don't have to worry about writing Mazza in the chat at all. So we're going to have a great show here tonight. We're slated for about 2 to 3 hours. Today was a very bad day for me as a Patriots fan. Wasn't very happy with the outcome of that game at all. It was extremely disappointing. And it was just tough to see the Patriots leave so many points on the scoreboard as they did today. Now, additionally here, there's a Halloween party, ladies and gentlemen, that is coming up very, very soon. I just want to get to this portion of the program before we talk about things. Turtleboy has a fundraiser coming up yet again, ladies and gentlemen. Third annual Turtleboy Halloween party is coming up. Let's see if this link even posts here. That should be it. Yeah, I didn't post the whole link in the thing. I'll try it again. But yes, this is coming up. If you go to actually, if you just go to my Twitter page, or I think you go to the Turtleboy Facebook page, it's there. But this is going to be Friday, October 24th from 7 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Doors open at 7. And it is at the Loyal Order of the Moose in Malden, Mass. Same place it's been at the last 2 years. Get your tickets. Join that party. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, yes, I will be there for the second consecutive year. I was still anonymous during the first ever Halloween party, but I was there last year. I had a great time, and I intend on being back there again this year. So it should be a great time. Tickets, you can find them online. Again, my X page has the link for that as well. And should be a fantastic time again this year. Food and all that, music, dancing. As much dancing as you want to do. I can dance until your back breaks or something like that. But she should be good. But thanks, guys, for joining the show. I'm going to be tracking the funds myself throughout the entire show, so you can donate to Turtleboy, you can donate to Mike of the Young Jurks, and or you can donate to Kelsey Fitz Simmons, and we're going to tally them all up individually for 3 individual totals throughout the night. So we got guests here tonight. We got some amazing people here tonight, great people that we all know and love. And one of them, he doesn't really stare, but he does glare. And this guy has dogs that are named after Rocky villains, which I think is really awesome. He's got Clover. He's got Drago. And this guy's a great, great, great buddy of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MazzaMedia, the Glare.
What's up?
What's going on, man?
And not villains, opponents.
Okay. All right. That's a great point. They're not necessarily, they're Rocky rivals, we'll call them, just to be
rivals.
A little bit more correct.
Probably a better, yeah. There you go. Nice little medium ground there.
Right.
I like that.
Right. Exactly. All right. Next up, we have an attorney that's joining us today. This attorney, don't ever cross her because she knows exactly what to say. She can counter anybody. She can debate anybody. And she is fierce and she is a fighter. And that is Nan Gallagher, who is joining us today. Welcome, Nan Gallagher.
Hi, guys. How are you? It's good to see you.
Good to see you all. Great to be here.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you are welcome. Thank you for being here. This is going to be awesome. And I don't even know where to start. We got a couple different ways we can start on topics. We got a couple of different guests that may show up from time to time. We'll see. But there was quite the show that the Glare had to do yesterday, because there was a video that surfaced. I
didn't have to do it.
Can I interrupt for 1 minute,
Sure.
please? Because I caught that show this afternoon, Will, and I had seen that you posted it, and I'm like, I got to catch this. And the slowdown of Lindsay's video was, I laughed. I laughed. Yeah. The entire time I laughed because I had seen it for the first time while I was on another creator's stream last night. I actually didn't even know it had been posted. And I said to myself last night, I can't wait to see what the Glare does with this. And it was amazing. And your commentary was perfect.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Yeah, awesome. that video though, seriously, Mazza. Like, that was the gift of the weekend.
Yeah. So I put it on. I was listening to it. I was, what was I eating? I can't remember what I was eating. I was eating something. And I'm like, oh, well, I think I was having a salad. I got done working out. I had I bought my supermarket salad with eggs and ham and all this great stuff, cheese and tomatoes. And I'm sitting down. I'm like, all of a sudden I go right on my feed, and that's the first video I see. So I'm like, oh, let's play it. Why not? And I listened to it. And after about 5 minutes of it, I'm like, is this going to go anywhere?
No, it apparently didn't go anywhere. I think we were all waiting. Like, she spent 13 minutes saying that she was going to say something eventually. So.
Yeah, I didn't.
She didn't say anything. She just sat up there and just Lindsay'd the whole thing. It was.
She needs a publicist. And maybe, in my opinion, perhaps to ease up on the day drinking, especially when your 4 kids are clamoring for you in the background.
Yeah. The publicist isn't going to do anything, but I mean, I can't imagine how there's anybody who could spin her situation into a positive.
It brings up a good question, though, which is, and it was kind of something I had discussed last night. Just wondering what both of your takes are on who do you think she's going to turn to spill whatever information she has, or who do you think she's clamoring to? Do you think this is a call for help to all of the either law enforcement or prosecutorial counter defendants she's sued? Is it a call to Aiden to kind of have some type of truce, which is never going to happen? Is it a call for funds for her GoFundMe? I just felt like she was putting something out there for help, and I just can't figure out who's going to give it to her or who she expects to give it to her.
I think she was day drinking and desperate to. The thing about her is, what the impression that I get is that she is more concerned with public image than anything else. And for a while, it was good enough that people were just talking about her. Didn't matter what they were saying about her, as long as they were just talking about her. And I mean, which is why I suspect she even hooked up with Aiden in the first place, was because she thought it would get her a lot of attention. She thought she was going to be the queen to the Turtleboy king of whatever she assumed he reigned over, his turtle riders or whatever. And she thought she was going to have some sort of hierarchy position and all that. And it wasn't going to happen. And so she lashed out. And when she realized this was not going to happen, and it was a part of some fantasy that she concocted in her mind, and then she turned to his worst enemies. And she did this, in my opinion, not so much to hurt him. I mean, that was a bonus, but it was just another method for her to stay somehow connected to him. So there's always some sort of, okay, well, you're going to get rid of me and not have me in your life. Well, I'll show you. I'm going to make it legally binding that you can't come near me. And then I'm going to have to see you in court every couple of months to make sure that this happens. So it's these sort of really pathetic and insane manipulative tactics that people like her have. And now that it's nothing but negative attention that she's getting, and now that there is the reality setting in of what's going to come about in these court proceedings to come, she is now desperate for a friend. And she wasn't reaching out to anybody in particular, in my opinion, to answer your question, Nan. I think that she was just day drinking, and I'm just going to make a video and throw out this and say absolutely nothing, even though in my mind I have a million things to say. But who is she going to turn to? There's nobody to go to. There's nobody to expose these things to. Bettero and Bradle and Turtleboy already got it. All those people are going to get exposed in open court at some point. It's just going to happen. So there's nothing that she brings to the table that they can offer her. She's just in the mess like everybody else. And there's nothing you can do about that, Lindsay. You're not waking up from this nightmare. It's happening.
Yeah. And I think
it's happening.
And I think it was your stream, Will, or it was Aiden's last night. I think it was yours though, where I think you said like she treats these court appearances like dates with Aiden.
Right.
And I don't want to miscredit if it was Aiden who said it, but yeah, like I believe that too. I think that's really messed up, but I believe it. This weird, when you said she's got this like weird connection to him, and it's really disturbing, especially when it's costing Aiden tens of thousands of dollars. And, every time he has to go to court, like I think I also heard that you said you were going to be there for his hearing this week. And I'm not even hopeful that the motion will be argued this week. I have a feeling, just based on past practice, that Cosgrove is going to say, Your Honor, I can't do the impression, but I need more time, which obviously it's not a wasted trip for you by any means, but he's
right.
I think he's going to show up in court and say, I need time to oppose this mega motion. With all of that said, every time Aiden sends attorneys to court, it's just wasted money kicking the can down the street. And especially if this is just going to go drag on and on and on, all Aiden can do is just fight the good fight and wait for justice to catch up to him. And the other comment I would make is she sounded very definitive, I think twice in her video, where she said the charges will be dismissed. It's looking like the charges will be dismissed against Aiden. So she sounded kind of definitive, not that anyone trusts a single word she says, but right. Will is not a may. And that kind of made me go, I wonder if someone with some sense of authority is buzzing in her ear.
I think anybody with any sense of authority has been ignoring her actively.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what I think. I think anything is, like you said, nothing that she says is credible. I don't take anything that she says to be of any merit whatsoever.
I agree. Hey, Mazza, what do you think?
Well, I thought the biggest takeaway was her definitive statement about the fact she thought these charges were all going to get thrown out. I think that's very interesting information to hear. Typically, when you have people that are typically an adversary of someone else, or an opponent, as Will kind of likes to call them, they usually don't necessarily think that that's gonna, somebody's gonna end up a certain way. But for me, I've thought for a long time all the charges on Aiden were going to drop. I've always thought this was, from a Commonwealth standpoint, state standpoint, whatever you want to say, was window dressing. This was always something to try to silence Aiden, and I think also try to silence all of us to beat us into submission, so we won't show up there with our pink shirts and free Karen Reed signs, because that's ultimately what this was all about, was that Aiden was the top of the echo chamber. And I don't use the term echo chamber in a negative light, but in terms of basically the voice of those of us that were speaking out about what was happening to Karen Reed, and they wanted to shut him up and shut him down and basically say, guess what? look what we can do to you're the guy at the top of the chamber here, or the top of the movement here in terms of supporting Karen, and you're all going to be next, and y'all better sit down and shut up or else. And, Mike Crawford, myself, and so many others in light of Aiden's arrest were Mike more than anybody after Aiden, were being basically, pushed around online. I had people messaging me on X, Mazza, you're going down. All you content creators are going down. And, they kind of at some point had me thinking, my God, are they actually going to show up outside my door tomorrow with,
right?
Am I going to be like the Canton? Not, that's what we kind of started to think. And then I just got to the point, and I think Mike got to the point too, where it was just like, you know what? I think these people that are anti-Karen Reed are kind of sensationalizing the situation where individuals in the power that be are targeting Aiden, obviously wholeheartedly, and occasionally Canton 9, Richie Shipper, others. But they even people that weren't even content creators were being targeted as well. They were like, oh, this person, if you hold a sign, you're going to get locked up next. It was a mass intimidation campaign. And Mike, Mike had a high level of concern at that time. And Mike went
remember that
self-protection mode, which he needed to do. And I was very alarmed by that. Like, okay, how serious is this thing going to get? And then eventually it just kind of looked like it was focused on Aiden. But Aiden had an opportunity where he could have pled out, or he could have caved. He could have given up. He could have packed it in. He could have just said, you know what? This has gone too far. And he said, you know what? He kind of was like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He stuck both middle fingers up and charged right back into the arena and kept going. Yep.
I imagine he has that choice pretty much anytime to some degree. He at least has the option to put it on the table, to have his attorneys put it on the table. But I mean, right. It's not an option.
Quick timeout. Quick timeout. Well, sorry, to the chat. Are you guys able to click on the donation links? I tested them myself, and I was very successful with that. So if anybody else is having an issue, please let me know. Will, back to you, please. Sorry to interrupt you, sir.
Oh, no, that was my point. He could do that anytime, I think. Yeah.
And Aiden got his payoff punch. And what I mean by that is that not necessarily within... He hasn't really had his payoff punch in terms of the charges that are on him, but he had his payoff punch in terms of the Karen Reed saga, where he got to be in that courtroom and it all came down and it was over. And then he got to walk out that front door, and there's all these supporters out there. And it's not, I'm going to make a movie reference because I love Ghostbusters too. And Ghostbusters 1, but the Ghostbusters walk out of the building at the end they walk out of 55 Central Park West at the end of the first one. They walk out of the Museum of Art in the second one to fanfare, people chanting Ghostbusters. And it's an amazing moment, and Aiden kind of got that moment in real life where he got to walk out that front door. And it was ever, to quote Dusty Rhodes, the great wrestler. And it was so sweet. The fact that Rob DiPietro walks out the door first and he's getting booed. Everybody's just booing him like he's Walter Peck from Ghostbusters. And all of a sudden, Aiden comes walking out, and he's like
Peter Venkman.
Right, exactly.
His whole body tensed up for that. You could feel it. I know it comes through in the video footage of it, but when I was there and saw him walk out, he erupted with joy. Yeah. It was like truly very rare to see someone process such strong emotion and to get that reciprocation of gratitude back all at once. And then it also immediately was subsequent to people shitting all over DiPietro. So it was wonderful.
That was a riot. It was just like, DiPietro was like all those guys in like 80 comedies, movies, like Police Academy.
Yes.
There was always like those people, the Proctor, Lieutenant Harris, Mauser, and the Police Academy movies, where no matter what happens, things always go against their way. It's like he's out in the parking lot. He's like, I'm going to park my car. And all of a sudden, crack, and he shatters taillight. And it was the funniest thing in the world.
He's definitely the guy you write dork in sunscreen on his chest.
Exactly. Hey, dork. Hey, Dork.
Yeah.
Assignment Miami Beach right there. Great reference, Will. I got that one.
He's like the aw shucks character, the one who's just always kicked when they're down and will never get up. And when he broke that taillight that day, what are the odds of that? Like
literally minutes before he got booed. Literally.
Yes.
It's so
yes.
crazy.
Like if that's not just desserts,
right.
It's like so poetic.
Yeah. It couldn't have been more perfect.
Right. Oh, it was unbelievable. So I actually messaged him a couple of days later on X on his post, and I said, what were the findings of your taillight experiment in the Registry of Deeds parking lot? And he said, no collision. And then about 10 minutes later, it says, you've been blocked by John DePetro.
Oh, well, congratulations. You earned your colors, I suppose.
Exactly.
It's a badge of honor.
Exactly. That guy, I'll say this about that guy, though. That guy versus Turtleboy, one of the most extremely entertaining rivalries throughout all of this. Just seeing them. Listen,
it's
Turtle.
not even because it's not even a rivalry. That's what makes it so funny. That's what makes it so funny. Is like Turtleboy just trolls him. Like he just trolls him. And does it so effortlessly, where he just shows up and he's like, "This person is interrupting my broadcast," and
see, but
and DePetro, like you could just count on DePetro to react the right way, which is listen, Turtle.
Yeah.
I'm on the radio. I'm gonna have an attorney on. Turtle, listen. You can count on him to do this. It's so easy.
Oh man.
This is why my kids think I'm crazy, because I walk around the house and I've got the AirPods in and I'll see Aiden streaming in front of the Registry of Deeds in front of DePetro and literally just like listening out of one ear, talking out of his mouth, and just trying to block whatever he's trying. DePetro's trying to broadcast, and I laugh the entire time. And then he'll get his voice will elevate, and he just goes at it, and they both try to like intentionally and poorly ignore one another. And my kids will say, "Mommy, what is wrong with you?" And I'm like, I wish I could show you this. But it's like an inside joke that you just can't explain the level of humor to them.
No, it's great because like he'll also just like while he's doing that, he's making up outrageous shit the same way that DePetro does, like in his tweets. So he'll just be like, Hank Brennan seems defeated, like he's completely, which really wasn't a lie, but he's like, I heard him say he was going to pack it up and dismiss all the charges, blah, 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 just making stuff up just to piss this guy off and distract him from whatever his broadcast is, where he's looking up and going, I'm right here in front of the Registry of Deeds. Like you can't take that guy seriously. Nobody takes that guy seriously.
No.
Wait, does anyone know what he's doing now? Because he blocks me. Is he even making any headlines? I don't hear any creators talking about him.
Well,
No,
why would you?
Yeah. He's never made any headlines.
Well, every now and then I still hear about Grant, and I hear a little bit about Yellow Cottage Tales, but DePetro never passes through the algorithm for me.
Yeah.
Well, because he doesn't. Like
again, I'm grateful.
No, that's good. Yeah, I haven't heard about him in a long time.
Grant is somehow like entertaining to some degree. Like he is completely full of it, but he manages to like keep himself out there in some way. Like this whole motion, this Lindsay thing it's got Grant written all over it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like there's no so when things like that happen, Grant's name's gonna come up just because he's Grant, like DePetro will never have the natural notoriety that Grant just will always have.
Yeah.
When I think of Grant, I have to make a confession, because I was always in the chats for a long time, but only yesterday was the first time I saw the clip of Grant and Jess Machado's confrontation. That, like, I always knew, and I don't know if it's your super chat music, Will, where it's how dare you,
it's
right? So I always knew that came from it, and I always knew there was the incident, but for some reason, I guess someone put it on X, and I watched it. And I couldn't believe it, like how loud Jess Machado. I need to compliment her on her vocal skills. She was like guttural, like get away from me. And I was like,
Well,
how did I miss this?
imagine how that must have felt for her, because at the same time, she's trying to process how surreal this, like, that's a real guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when you watch that video, the way that he's reacting, he looks like an incarnate cartoon character.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
you're like, I don't know if I'm afraid of this guy because I can't figure out like if he's like fucking with me or if he's like capable of hurting me. I don't know.
Right.
But he is relentless in not letting me sit down in this seat, you know,
Yeah.
like he is. So I can only imagine what was going through Jess Machado, because you watch that, and aside from her terror, it's hilarious. You know what I
Agreed.
mean?
Oh, that's right. No, exactly. It's well said. Aside from her terror, I mean, the guy, it's like they say in The Hangover, Mr. Chow is madness. It's in The Hangover 3. It's maybe no one's even seen that movie, but
I have.
Yeah, Mr. Chow is madness. And I think of Grant, I'm like, Grant is madness. I mean, his behavior, like I said, if you remove the Jess Machado aspect, his behavior, it's right out of a comedy movie.
Yeah, Jess, if you're watching, like,
Yeah.
we totally,
Right.
respect your experience, but carve it out. It's very hilarious.
Well, that's what's weird about it, is I imagine that she is just as freaked out about the things that we are laughing at, because you don't know what to make of this guy. You're like, is he for real? Like, would he act like this if there were cops surrounded him right now and they had guns pointed at him? If he had a gun, would he be like, "Excuse me, sir"? You know, like, that's crazy to wrap your head around, that this dude's a real guy. You know what I mean? Like,
So I got to ask a stupid question, guys, because again, yesterday, first time I saw that full video. Was that Aiden? Aiden's voice?
Aiden was the one filming it. That's his video. So
Yeah.
Aiden was tripping me out that whole time too, because he's just like, he's the most rational one, and he's going, Grant, just stop, dude. Like, like nobody's buying this shit. Like, stop it. You know,
Yes.
and eventually, even just this classic Aiden, he's like, Grant, do you have rope holding up your pants, Grant? Like, like you can count on Aiden to do that, even though he's still successfully diffusing the situation, going, Grant, please, like, stop it right now.
Yeah. Like, that's why I was saying to myself, I'm like, that's Aiden's voice. Oh my God. And he's trying to be like, no, man, you touched your dude. Like, and the way Grant was responding to it, like, it was more of he was getting ratcheted up, and you could tell he was getting extremely nervous, but then fought back at what he was being accused of. And now I feel badly, Jess, if you're watching, I didn't mean any disrespect by bringing it up, but it was revelational to see it. Now I get it. I never actually knew where the term, like, Grant's rope belt came from, and now I realize it was from that.
And that ended up being a very pivotal moment in the first trial, because Jess ended up getting a restraining order on him. And the thing is beyond what Grant,
and rightfully so.
Yeah,
he put his hands on her. You know what I mean?
And beyond what he had been, the difficult time he had been given, to say, use that term loosely, the hard time he was giving to Jess, the harassment or whatever he was dealing to Jess, he was also doing that to Karen. So Karen would walk into court every day, and you had Dina and Chrissy that would literally block Grant when he was walking. He would stand alongside Karen's team and be, Karen, are you going to take the plea? He'd be like, Karen, are you having an affair with attorney Alan Jackson? He'd be doing that every day, and it would become a total circus. And Jess, when that incident happened, Jess was able to get a restraining order, but guess what? Jess goes to court for the trial all the time, which means what? Now Grant can't, which means what? Karen Reed and her defense team don't have to deal with Grant every day on the way to court. So it had that trickle-down effect.
Yeah, it was kind of like a good sacrifice, an unintended sacrifice. So now Karen was relieved of that, and also it kept Grant out of the courtroom. He's an interesting character, and I don't understand the association he has with Lindsay, other than apparently I've heard he's interested.
The reporters in the press box would complain because he smelled like weed and grajo, which is like grajo is Spanish for like armpit stink, dude. Like,
yes,
you know, so like that they would just they would complain about it. Sue O'Connell would write tweets about it, you know, like, dude,
like, do I have to sit next to this?
Right. Like, why? Like, I went to college, you know what I mean, to be able to sit here. And like, I went to college so I could sit here, and this guy could just like smoke weed and just be like, I'm an independent journalist, you know, and just tell lies and then just sit here. You know what I mean?
It's unbelievable. And he has a press pass?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, God save the Commonwealth. How do you guys feel, by the way, about the Karen's civil case being press in the courtroom? Did the order say it can be televised? I think it's just press can come in. What did I miss yesterday? This has been a blur.
About the civil thing?
Yeah.
Oh, as far as I understand it, Court TV is going to cover it.
Yeah, good.
So, right.
There's going to be a lot of stuff that comes out, as you both know.
And there's a Zoom link that doesn't even require a password that's just out there. So
that I saw posted.
Everyone's going to stream it. Melanie Little's going to stream it. Everyone's going to stream it. So
yeah, that's good. I mean, not all civil cases end up getting televised, and I think we all can agree there's going to be more information, more discovery, hopefully a better judge, in my opinion, and much more latitude in letting more information come out to a jury and to the general public that you just were not allowed to see behind the curtain in the criminal case. So I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
Yeah. So
yeah, guys, I'm just having trouble with the math here. I was just
I don't know how you do that while we do these fundraisers. Do you literally just sit there with a calculator, or do you do Excel?
I got an Excel spreadsheet, well, Google Sheets actually, and I got the whole thing. I got 3 different tabs open that are color coded in purple, yellow, and green. And the thing about the Kelsey,
so you're calculating which cause is raising how much through this fundraiser.
Right, exactly. So the thing about the Kelsey one is that hers doesn't have the dollar value that is being donated. So every time it comes through, it's anonymous giver. So what I have to do is I have to take the original total at the beginning of the show, and then I got to subtract what's the current total minus what the original total was, and that's how I'm getting the difference. Whereas the other ones, I'm actually calculating exactly what's donated to Aiden, and so forth and so on. So, yeah.
So basically, Will, what Mazza is saying is that you and I are just going to talk to each other because
No.
No. Mazza, I will say this, props to you.
Thank you.
It is very lofty to see a triple fundraiser all in one. Like, that's crazy. When you asked the other day, I'm like, he must be nuts. But
I have never been referred to as a Rose, New Hampshire dude 603. Thank you.
Rose,
oh my God. So sweet. So sweet.
Oh, that's so sweet. NH dude 603.
All right, there we go.
That's so funny.
I'm blushing.
Yeah.
I'm fired up for the civil suit, to get to that conversation, because I think that it's just the sooner it starts, the sooner it's over. That's kind of my attitude with this. And I just want to kind of see Karen get through whatever's coming her way. I want her and her team to start going in their direction, to be able to start filing their own civil suits as well, and getting into court for those. So I just want the family of John, they have their belief system. This is what they believe happened. They will not accept the fact that Karen has not done this. They're going to proceed forward with their civil suit, which is their right to do. I disagree with it. Their position, but at the same time, they have the right to do that. And Karen Reed's got a very well-equipped team that's going to be, armed with a lot of great attorneys once again. And I'm sure Karen for this is probably a little bit more happy going into this one than the previous 2 trials, because there's no stake here in terms of imprisonment, which is very relieving. Essentially, the worst is over for Karen in terms of stakes. Now it's just basically a civil suit with other things that come into the fold here. Nan, I'll defer to you. I see a reaction. So.
To be honest with you, whenever there's a fundraiser that's coming with you both, I always think about things beforehand because I always kind of inventory questions that I have for you both.
Yeah.
And this morning when I went out running, I said to myself, in light of the mega motion and what was revealed in it, you know, the whole do something and this implication that you can kind of read through with all of the redactions, that the McCabe's and the Alberts really didn't like the bad PR associated with John O'Keefe's passing and the accident, et cetera, or the alleged crime that took place. With all of that said, I truly believe that the Macalberts do not want this civil case, the one that's pending now, the wrongful death action, to proceed against Karen. And I didn't just come to this revelation today. I've kind of thought it all along because all of this discovery is going to come out, as I said, much more latitude. It's going to be an easier road for Karen and her team. But
well, that, and they all have to be, they're all subject to being deposed.
Yeah. All of the Pandora's box is going to get open now. Like, do you agree? It sounds like, Will, you may agree with that. Like, but before you guys give your thoughts, I wanted the audience to understand that the O'Keefes, and they have every right to file this lawsuit. They maintain, and I don't disagree, that John O'Keefe suffered a wrongful death and that someone is responsible for it. They also had a 3-year statute of limitations that they were facing in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts that was going to expire, I believe, on January 29th, 2025. So they had to file it. But because they filed it, and if you recall, that was right around when the original trial date in 2.0 was scheduled, then it got bumped into the spring a little bit. But when it got filed, and then now that it's pending post almost full acquittal for Karen, I have to believe that the Macalberts want this to end immediately. However that is. Maybe they're pushing behind the scenes for a settlement. But what are your thoughts about that? Like, how do you think they feel about this lawsuit?
I can't imagine how the Macalberts would be for it at this point. I talked about this months ago, actually.
Yeah.
Because I mean, for the same reasons, and you know, everybody who practices law or seems to agree with me on this, is that there's, it's not, they're not held. Yannetti even said so when he was on my channel for the last fundraiser I threw for Turtleboy. He was saying that they're in a criminal trial, these people are not open to depositions the way they would be in a civil trial or in a civil case. So in a civil case, there's just a lot more on the table, more options that they can do to get people to really get to the truth. He didn't say one way or another that was the intention, but he said that it definitely leaves options more available to do so.
And now that Alan Jackson and Liza are on the team, it's going to make for a very, very seamless defense. Like, it's just going to help. It adds something when the attorneys directly involved with the criminal defense are part of the civil team as well. So it's a good thing.
And one of the best arguments they're going to have is a jury unanimously acquitted her of this charge that she hit John O'Keefe with her vehicle. 2 experts that were hired independently by the FBI determined that John O'Keefe was not hit by a vehicle and that her vehicle didn't strike anybody. So they have this fail-safe thing to be able to build off of, and when it comes to the civil defense, that there's just no escaping. You know what I mean? Like, it's on record. It happened. Like, the fact that the car did not hit John O'Keefe, that happened. The fact that it didn't happen happened.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Like,
It does.
That's it. It's set in stone. As far as the record goes, it's as solid as it gets.
Yeah, I completely agree. And now that we have the Macalberts and others, like certain law enforcement personnel and others, testimony in trial 1.0 and many of them again in 2.0. And there were ones that were in 2.0 that weren't in 1.0. But now that we have their trial testimony that has been reduced to transcripts, the attorneys for the defense in the civil case, they're going to have a field day with this. And this increases the potential for even more potential perjury charges or perjury allegations to arise. Like, there's just a high likelihood, in my opinion, that people like the Kerry Roberts, the Jen McCabe's, they're just going to keep telling inconsistent stories every single time they testify. And then, if you recall, there were witnesses who testified in 1.0 who did not testify in 2.0. People like Brian Albert, I think Matt McCabe did not testify in 2.0. People like that. And then we're going to see Colin. There's going to be no judge gatekeeping him or protecting him. So there's going to be a huge amount of depositions in this case. I wish that we heard a little bit more status. Like, I don't think there's any protective order. I think that civil cases are different than criminal ones. The attorneys can put things out there into the ethos and the public, the court of public opinion more liberally. I wish they would banter about that a little bit more online and on the news. But I guess one of these days we'll hear. Maybe tomorrow.
Karen, like I said, I think she's really over all this. She's really over all this, and I think that's the understatement as the reaction I'm seeing her, of course. But that's the issue. Is now it's about financials. Now it's about writing a check. People want her to write a check and say, "Here you go." When obviously over the course of 2 trials, to Glara's point, she's already proven, hey, look, I haven't done this. Experts are saying they're not doing this. No jury. 2 juries. I mean, this thing had gone 10 trials, and I wouldn't put it past Judge Beverly Canoni. If she could have made this thing go 10 trials, she would have. But this, after 2 trials, 24 jurors that basically had her fate in the very palm of their hands, all agreed not guilty or unable to acquit, and unable to convict, I should say. And that's the bottom line. And when it comes to a civil case, Alan Jackson's fired up right now because he said just the other day on Billy Bush's Hot Mics on YouTube.
That was great.
Billy Bush. He goes, I'm looking forward to, talking to someone else again very, very soon. And everyone knows who that individual is, of course. And anytime Alan Jackson and that individual go head to head, it's always very, 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 very engaging. It's edge of your seat, popcorn worthy, maybe a side of candy and a soda level entertainment. Maybe a pretzel, hot pretzel with some cheese too, level entertainment. But it's going to be interesting to see that. And it's great that the media is going to be allowed to have at least one camera, so this can be
like
be streamed.
A full camera.
Tune into the Glare tomorrow at 2 p.m. Right? Well, you streaming it? You streaming it tomorrow?
I haven't decided if I was going.
Okay.
I haven't set it up yet. Melanie Little's definitely.
Oh, Melanie Little's doing it. Okay,
for sure. I know that.
Right, that's awesome. Melanie Little's been great. She's done a fantastic job through both these trials. I really think that her I'm not gonna hide the fact that I think her channel is probably going to double in size in the next year or two. The job she's done through a lot of cases, yes, there's a lot going on with Karen right now. We're looking forward to her defense team. Like I said, Eliza Little, Alan Jackson, I'm looking forward to them coming back in the fold again and working with, a few other additions to Karen's team in the civil case. It's going to be awesome stuff.
Oh, I agree. I agree. Do we know if Alan is he going to be there tomorrow? I
That
guess
was the
he
rumor I
is.
heard. That was the rumor I heard that they were going. I think he had said that on the chat will know, but I think he said that on Hot Mics. That he was. I
Yeah,
think he was
I
flying out.
definitely
Yeah,
saw most of that, which I
yeah,
loved.
I would
And
imagine he would be.
yeah,
I saw so many women
yeah. They're saying
post on.
yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
great! I
yeah,
saw so many women post on X that
yeah.
they thought he looked like a snack on Hot Mic. So that
Okay.
must be, I don't know. It's either like a Gen Z saying, or maybe it's a local Massachusetts one. But I laugh every time I hear the ladies refer to the men as, what was
If
that?
I'm Alan Jackson, dude, I am booming with confidence. Like I am just like there's no reason why Alan Jackson can't look as pimp as possible, being the most talked about high profile attorney in the world right
True.
now. Like, let's just be honest. There's no understating that. There's no overstating that. Is
Yes.
Alan Jackson is the most talked about high profile attorney in the world right now.
Hmm.
So why not
He,
enjoy it?
yeah, he's
You know,
looking like a snack and
yeah,
loving life. And
like
and
he just beat an entire local corrupt government.
Right, right. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
like
huge.
that must
Yeah.
it's really, it makes me very happy to see the level of like vigor and fire and brimstone that he has,
Mm,
and the other attorneys as well who've been interviewed, but most notably for me, Alan, when he is asked questions about, you know, um, for example, do you feel sorry for Dever? And he's like, no, I don't feel sorry for her. Like he's,
Deaver.
is it deep? I get it wrong. I mean,
It's Deaver.
it's Deaver. Well, okay, it's
No,
Deaver.
Deaver, leave it to Deaver.
Leave it to Deaver,
Yeah,
which we should chat about her too. But
yeah.
did someone just say I look like a snack in your chat? I don't have my glasses on, but I just like the saying, and thank you. I need to incorporate that into my daily
I don't
vernacular.
know. I saw someone's mom hitting on Alan Jackson just a moment ago. I just said, "You're a married woman." I was
A
kidding.
lot of people's mouths on Alan Jackson, I'm sure.
So bad. Like I don't know how you, Will. I don't know how you stream as often as you do and stare at a screen, and like how's your vision? Your vision good? With
I,
Like for me, the blue light gets me just staring at screen because I work in front of a screen all day, and then when I stream, so I'm blind
I,
as a bat.
I could probably stand to get my eyes checked, but so far I'm okay. I
Sorry
get
to ask
around
you
all
about
right.
your personal health information in front of.
Maybe some depth,
Yeah.
judgment could improve so I don't bust my knee jumping over a fence, but
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
some depth
yeah.
perception could probably improve, maybe, but we'll
Yeah.
see.
Well, you know,
I don't
at
know.
our age, it is important to make sure that happy belated birthday to you too.
Happy
Thank
birthday,
you.
Will.
This is a big year for both of our birthdays. Mazza, did you know that?
Did not know that.
Yeah, you're sandwiched between two people who are almost exactly the same age by a couple
Wow.
months.
Awesome.
But anyway, I love
That's awesome.
the approach
Trivia.
that Alan brings. Like he's got like a good chip on his shoulder.
Oh, he does.
You know,
Yeah.
not ready to give up.
He's got the intelligence, but he's also got, I think, you obviously when you're an attorney, you don't want to be like a prosecutor that's trying to put Aiden behind bars, who basically is about as entertaining as Frankenstein, talking. Frankenstein just goes, you don't want to be like that. You want to have personality. You want to have some charisma. You want to have some ability to talk and entertain and captivate an audience and talk at a speed that's not a snail's pace. And I think Alan Jackson has that. Bob Alessi, David Yannetti, Eliza Little, they're all very engaging, great speakers. When they represented Karen during the trials, of course, they were all fantastic. And you see the Will's Alessi clip all the time. What?
Yeah.
What?
What could be more egregious?
He was
That's awesome. Yeah.
Alessi was he was such a beautiful surprise. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they went through 1.0 and they did a great job. That should not have been a mistrial. And then I remember, you were all announcing when Alessi was added to the team, and people were like, "Oh, let's look him up and see what he specializes in." And people began to speculate, well, he's probably going to handle the scientific pieces. And honestly, so much more than that. And they've all kind of described that by adding Alessi, it lightened a lot of their loads mutually so they could focus on smaller amounts of huge tasks. But he really is just a marvel. They all are. But he was a marvel to watch. For me as a lawyer, I was like, I don't know how the hell he does that. But I can look to each one of them and say the same thing. They're so good.
Bob Alessi is the dopest human being alive.
Yeah.
Like, there's no doubt about it. I more and more stuff comes out about this guy. When he appeared on the fundraiser that I threw last time, he tells everybody that into his 50s, he was fighting in underground fight clubs. What? Yeah. What are you doing? What?
Like, are you showing up at depositions with like a busted nose?
Dude, he's cockfighting for fun.
It's like in Fight Club when they show up for work the next day and they're all like bandaged and battered.
I can't get licensed to box. Okay, well, I'm just gonna fight. Like, I'll be okay until his family was like, dude, you can't do that. Like,
he's like Randy Marsh in the Bat Dad episode of South Park where he just keeps getting in brawls left and right.
Yes. Yeah. I love Mazza. I love your encyclopedic knowledge of entertainment. It's amazing.
When they do a movie, when they do a Karen Reed movie and talk about it, will not be justified to introduce Bob Alessi's character without giving him like a montage, like Hugo Stiglitz in Inglourious Bastards. He's got to have this whole montage of like, this guy started as a pharmacist, blah 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 blah, and you got to give like a nice little 3-minute badass synopsis of this guy's life before you bring him into the movie. Like,
you're gonna have like a scene where he's like in an underground boxing facility, and it just zooms in on like this facility. You just hear some grunting, and you see this fight, and all of a sudden it just shows Alessi, just like at the beginning of the first Rocky movie. Yeah. You just see him like, just taking people down, and then all of a sudden he gets a phone call. It's like, Bob, it's for you, and he's like, what's going on in Massachusetts?
It would be a crime to not give this guy a montage introduction. It would be a crime.
Was the first time that you met him at that fundraiser that we were at?
It wasn't the first time I met him. It was the first time that I got to talking to him. But the first time I met him, he was he was amazing. Like, it was in the courtroom, and everybody was finishing up for the day, and he goes, "Oh, hey," he's like, I haven't had a chance to watch your content yet, but I have interns and they're telling me that it is fantastic. Thank you. And then he shakes my hand, and I'm like, all right, man, real cool. Thanks. And then he, like, I saw him, like, we went downstairs, and then he like shook Bill Reed's hand and gave him a hug, and then like told him a secret in his ear. And like, you could tell was just pure encouragement. Like, we are going to kick ass. Don't worry about nothing. Like, it was clearly that vibe of what was happening. And Bill was just like, yes, sir. I have all the faith in the world. I have no doubt.
I think that's amazing. And I will say also, adding Alessi to the team adds to the amount of people that could comfort and inspire the family. Like, all the days and time that they had to give to this. And I don't know, like, if they were staying in a hotel near the courthouse, maybe they were. I know Karen was. When I say nearer, I mean nearer than where their normal everyday residence is. But just having someone like Alessi and the others kind of spread the work and inspire the family. I hope that helped them feel a little comfort. Because I will tell you, like, I felt confident, no matter who it was, that Alessi alone was going to cross-examine. Like, I remember posting on X something to the effect of, I forget whose cross-examination it was going to be, but I wrote, like, don't worry, Alessi's coming. And I had the image, the meme of Rambo, like rising up out of the mud or the water. Like that's how I felt about him. And he is jacked. That fundraiser.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
He's just all muscle. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's I was absolutely impressed with all these all the attorneys. Just the fact that they had so much camaraderie. Like when you just see like some of the videos where they're just hanging around in a kitchen and Alan Jackson's like cooking and they're all kind of gathering together and having a couple of drinks.
That's how they are all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's as far as my experience of hanging around them. It's just like they're just like that.
Yeah,
that's great.
Oh, it's awesome. It was such a great, like I said, it just from top to bottom, the whole, I don't mean top to bottom, but just from left to right in this whole Karen Read saga. It's been from Karen to Karen's family, to Karen's attorneys, to Karen's supporters, just everybody out there. It's just been an incredible thing. And what's crazy is, what would have happened in this trial if, because you saw Michael Morrissey and his leaked emails. This is an uncommonly well-funded defense team. What would have happened without Aiden and other people popularizing this and all the funds being raised and all the supporters that were standing out, Sunday morning, you'd have people out there at 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, whether they were in Legacy Place, whether they were down in Providence, whether they were on the North Shore, South Shore, Central Massachusetts, and in between, or any other country. It was a huge operation in terms of supporting Karen and doing all that. We had that national standout. Everybody was down in Plymouth. There was probably over 100 people down there that day. I think that was Labor Day 2024. It was incredible. It was an unbelievable thing. And this is looking at Kelsey Fitz Simmons. Anti-Karen Read folks are already taking an anti-Kelsey Fitz Simmons position because why not? But that's what we're seeing here again, is that it's becoming, because like for me, like what I always foresaw was that a lot of us would always take on following and supporting individuals that were in situations where they significantly needed help, and they were either framed or their situation was misconstrued. And we had developed a lot of people that got to know each other through all of this. And whether it's supporting Aiden or whomever, Mike Crawford, whomever, other stories that may not have happened yet in this state. We have formed something in the state of Massachusetts here that I don't know that's ever happened in any other state before. We have folks like both yourselves, not from Massachusetts, that are actively involved in this fight because it transcends Massachusetts. You refer to yourself as a patriot, and as a patriot, you want to see the law upheld regardless of state laws. As an American, we all have rights, we all have freedoms. And people like Karen, Aiden, Kelsey Fitzsimmons should not be railroaded.
And I want to see these things happen on a local level without the need for federal intervention. I want to see the people take the steps, to make these changes locally. And I understand that it's a lot more complicated than that when you have almost every official, suspected of being corrupt to some degree. So, I mean, at what point, can this happen? So, but the thing is everybody is fighting. Everyone's doing it. And it's great. It's great to see that. It's great I've never been a part of anything so amazing. And seeing it's just the most inspiring thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Well,
and I love that.
It's the people.
Yeah, and to me too, Will, when I start to see people like, a lot of times it's like, okay, I'm from Massachusetts, this is happening in my state, blah, blah, blah. But I think it's even more powerful for someone like myself or any other Massachusetts resident to start seeing people from other states, such as yourself, that start to sit there and go, what the hell's going on in Massachusetts right now? What is this all about? And then you start to take your time to make multiple trips out here and do a lot of shows on this subject matter because you're so outraged about it. And that's when you start to realize, as someone in Massachusetts, that this is becoming a national story. When you have attorneys like Mark Vetero from Mass down in New York, and an attorney out of Massachusetts like yourself that's coming to Massachusetts, that's like, what the hell's going on over there? And that's when you realize that this thing's taking on a national thing. And it's not just like your typical story. It's not like those stories that have happened nationally that have been a big story where it's like, well, something crazy happened, but this is more like a situation where it's beyond just a quote unquote criminal or true crime story. This is a story of someone that didn't commit a crime, that is really fighting forces from a DA's office to local police to state police. Then people that are supporters, an award-winning journalist from Turtleboy Daily News named Aiden Carty, goes ahead and starts reporting on this. He starts asking questions like a classic reporter used to do. I have questions, right? That's the phrase we use, right? Ask questions, and then all of a sudden, witness intimidation. Yeah. Suddenly this happens. Suddenly that happens. Suddenly all of a sudden we're all watching Aiden hauled off in handcuffs. And we're all sitting like, when the hell has this ever happened before? And for people like myself and people like everybody else, I'm sure that moment was the moment where the fire exploded on in your head, because you're just so shocked at the fact that we're sitting here saying that Karen Read was framed. We're sitting here saying that the powers that be in the state of Massachusetts are behind this. And then literally while we're saying this, they're literally doing this to Aiden right before our eyes. And I'm sitting there on Twitter and I'm saying this. I'm like, am I the only one seeing this right now? Did they just literally do to Aiden? Well, we've been saying they've been doing to other people to Karen this entire time.
I wasn't ready to even entertain a corrupt conspiracy theory until Aiden got charged.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I mean, I considered it a possibility, but I wasn't ready to even start to even think going down that road. I didn't think of it as rational. I was like, there's so many other avenues to explore here before going down that road.
Yeah.
And then when Aiden got charged, I was like, wait a second. Okay. That can't be a coincidence,
Right.
But then I was like, there's no way that they would be that bold, like in front of the whole world, just to like literally just try to shut a journalist up. No way.
Yeah.
And then that's when I went over those charges and I was like, yeah, this is no way. No way.
By the way, Will, not that I expect you to remember, but do you have any general guidance as to where someone can go to your channel to find the streams where you did that? Like, would it have been the, so wait, he was arrested at the end of 2023. So like, do you have any idea? Like, I've always wanted to go back and watch those, or maybe I'll just reach out to you separately. Because I think you did the best job out of, there were very few people who went over them. Have I stumped you about your own content?
No, I'm trying to answer your question. I would imagine that you could just search Turtleboy charged or something to that effect.
Okay.
To Glare. I mean, I know that I did like a series of like 5 of them.
Yeah. I will try that.
I'm pretty sure I titled them appropriately. I would imagine I did.
Even Aiden said you did like a great job. And I remember listening to them at the time and I wanted to refresh my recollection. Because when I hear people like Lindsay release her video, sorry to circle back to that nightmare, but when I hear her say things like she now believes that the charges will be dismissed, I'm wondering if she's referring to all of them.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I think she was saying that's how I interpreted that remark in that video. But that'll be great. I mean, like I said, if Aiden can kind of walk on in life and not have to deal with these charges anymore, the sooner the better, obviously. Unfortunately with the law and everything, the way it works, it's an elongated process, which has been my frustration with the whole process, is that Cosgrove keeps introducing new stuff all the time. And then you have a judge, and I don't think the judge is bad. I just think that the judge is not hearing this case on a frequent enough basis to kind of get the fact that the prosecutor, even the previous prosecutor, Mello, were twiddling their toes and holding this thing back and elongating the process. And Bradle's had this issue, not only in Turtleboy's case, but Kelsey Fitz Simmons, where Tim Bradle goes into court prepared. He says everything correctly. He sounds smart and he makes too much sense for these judges sometimes, where it's just like, Your Honor, look. And you have these judges in both cases where one of them, I kind of despise more than Auntie Bev right now, quite honestly, the judge in the Kelsey Fitz Simmons thing. But then Doolin I kind of like. Doolin I kind of like. I think
Doolin at least seems fair.
Right,
Yes.
exactly. Doolin I just think is not. I think if Doolin could just sit down and just hear this thing with one major hearing over the course of 1 to 2 days, and that way Brado could just say, hey, look, because I think the biggest problem is, even with last month, right? This Wednesday, here comes the next hearing. That's a couple weeks since the last one. This guy is sitting there, he's hearing case after case after case after case all the time. By the time a month goes by or 3 or 4 weeks go by, he's forgotten some of these tactics because he's probably overseen a few more cases since then. And I feel like Bradle spends half his time having to refresh the whole saga in this judge's head. But the problem is I think that judges, when they're there day after day after day, I'm not saying he's simplistic minded, but I think they start to get a little bit simplistic in the sense that they hear so many cases that they're looking for like the simple ways to just deal with something. And I think the problem with Aiden's case is it's not a simple case. It involves a lot of moving parts that are very complex, and it's not what it seems. The charges are not what they seem. Just like with Karen, there's a lot more that's going on. Someone said the letteros, and Mark Betterow is explaining a lot of this in his mega motion lately about all the moving parts, and that judge just needs to sit down and look over all this stuff, and it needs to click in his head for him just to say this thing needs to be thrown out immediately. Well,
I agree.
It's the most gaslighting thing in the world, and I'll explain why. Like, first thing we need to remember is that at the heart of both the Karen Reed case and the Aiden Carney case, both of them, at the heart of each of them is the same thing. Neither one, now hear me out. Neither one have a case. Neither case does the prosecution have a case to move forward with. So we're seeing a lot of the same behavior, right? A lot of the same Rule 14 violations, keeping discovery, all of that kind of shit is playing out, and a whole lot of dragging things on and on and on. A lot of Cosgrove just trying to dress up something that is free speech as something that's not free speech and is witness intimidation. It's just a whole lot of nothing. And it's dragged out time and time and time over time. And it seems as though this is coming from, my opinion being the most obvious answer would be Michael Morrissey and saying, just keep this going. Don't dismiss this case. Just do whatever you
drag it out.
Throw whatever shit at the wall. Yeah. At this point, let's try to drain them, I'm only speculating as to that, but as far as the whole thing with the charges being dropped, I mean, they're just not going to do that. You'd think that they would, but for some reason they won't. And this is where the gaslighting comes in, is all of these moving parts come off like a bunch of lawyer tricks and a bunch of distractions because it's all insane drama, right? So when you imagine Judge Doolin, a rational judge, having to sit there and go over all of this stuff and an 88-page mega motion to dismiss, and he's got to sit there and go, oh my God, this person, and he's fucking her up against the refrigerator, and then this person was texting this, Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? That's where the gaslighting comes in. And that's where the prosecution could have an advantage because the judge doesn't want to deal with any of this. He's going, what is all of this? But in order to successfully make the defense's case, they have to explain in detail why there was collusion, why they have reasons to try to shut him up, why they have motive to collude with each other and to conspire. I mean, all of this stuff is necessary to explain to the judge, but there's no way to escape the fact that it comes off as just a bunch of bullshit that could just be designed to distract the judge from what real issue here is and blah, 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 which is just simply not true. It is necessary to explain it.
Yeah.
And there's no getting around that.
Now, I completely agree, and this is not the way courts work on my planet. So, you don't play
On
musical.
anyone's, apparently. But
Yeah, and that to kind of dovetail to what Mazza was saying a short while ago about people outside of Massachusetts being interested in this case. I'm sure I can't speak for Betterow, but I'm sure he has the connection having been from Massachusetts originally, but I'm sure he would agree, like for attorneys like us and those other, like I'm not a law tuber, but for law tubers out there, like they're probably like, this is not the way it works in our on our planet. So why is this so fascinating? We need to take a look and look a little bit deeper. I wish some of them had done so a little bit earlier in the timeline,
Yeah.
because some of them have really large platforms and booming voices. But you know what? Every little bit helped, and it still will. But as far as the lack of consistency, like you were saying, Mazza, it's like just have some very small amount of large, long hearings where you hash through it. There have been times where I've been stuck in court. Like I've had judges say, clear your calendar Monday to Wednesday, 8 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. till 4:30 p.m. each day until we or you and your adversary hash it out and get this all done. That's why I was saying before, I'm so fearful that they're going to get to court for Aiden's matter this week, where everyone should anticipate the mega motion be argued, and it'll get bumped. That's my my dread.
I would probably count on it getting bumped, but
Yeah.
I mean,
It's so frustrating. I think it's a great motion, by the way. I loved it. And I saw some critiques of it from people who like the Twitter lawyers. It's fantastic. And I loved watching Aiden go through it and kind of say, I wonder what this is about. And I wonder who complained about this. Or, it's fun to kind of read between the lines with him.
Yeah. I mean, Betterow just is an artist when it comes to writing that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Absolutely. We got some huge updates here in the dollars here. Turtleboy's fundraiser so far has raised $520 on the show, and then $570 for Mike of the Young Jurks. Kelsey Fitz Simmons right now $635 raised for her fundraiser here today. So that's well over probably $1,600 plus total throughout the show so far, which is absolutely fantastic. All different situations for each of them, but at the end of the day, I just didn't know which one to do a fundraiser for this week. I'm like, hey, do a Turtleboy fundraiser. I kind of want to help out Mike. I kind of want to help out Kelsey.
Yeah,
so
that's amazing. Like we've been up here just over an hour. Look how much you've raised. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. So
well, you could always do a 12-hour one like Will, Mazza.
I'd be incapacitated for days. I wouldn't be able to pull off that. I don't
know how he does them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really not like. I mean, when you think about, it's kind of like going to the gym. Like when you think about going, you're like, oh my god. But once you're doing it, you're like,
that was nothing.
Yeah. Right. Yeah,
I think if you plan for the care of your pets, make sure you have food timed properly or to be delivered. Make sure, in Will's case, like he has cigarettes and anything else he might need, and guests lined up, and it probably just the story writes itself. Tons of entertainment.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mike from the Young Jurks is in the chat right now. He says, "Thank you,
Mike."
Yep, hooking you up, Mike.
Mike, I saw you on Grace Curley. I'm so proud of you. You're doing a great job.
Yeah, Mike's killing it, man.
Mike's doing awesome on that. Yeah, it's that's awesome for him. It's a great opportunity to be on that network as well, and kind of expand to another platform like that off of the YouTube, show, and have another one as well. Filling in for Grace Curley. He's done awesome with that, and it's awesome to see him on TV too, like that, or on the Rumble. So great job,
Yeah,
Mike.
it's so
Keep it up, man.
weird. Like when I see it, I'm like, wait, that's not the usual backdrop. But I
Right.
was watching it on his, I think I saw it on his Facebook page, and I
Yeah.
was like, ooh, I gotta listen to this. I thought he did a great job with Jodine Weber, the FBI. I don't know if she's retired, but she's excellent. And he interviewed her the other day about Kelsey Fitzsimmons case. And I thought it was a great discussion.
Nan, Leah's got a question for you. Nan is a mod. Thank you so much for that. Leah Baker's been awesome for a long time. She says, for Nan, what is your professional opinion about Kelsey's medical disability and how it should be handled in the courtroom? That's the $1 million question right there as well.
That's a great question, Leah. And also, I look at her quote medical disability as twofold because in Kelsey's situation, she had presented, and Tim Bradel was arguing to the judge that, having been shot in the chest and or abdominal regions with broken ribs and any resultant trauma, being hospitalized for like 50 something days is placing undue strain on her to blow into or do whatever she needs to do for this scram device. And that is, and I'm kind of holding aside the fact that I think what Tim Bradel did in court on that motion to just adjust the order so she could remain outside of jail and live her life and bond with her baby, etc. That was a great application that was made, and the judge was so heavy-handed, so draconian. I was just absolutely startled by the way the judge handled that issue. But he made a simple and reasonable request for an accommodation. And that is something under the American with Disabilities Act that federal law, and I understand this is a state court, but federal law would have afforded her that accommodation. He wasn't looking to absolve her from any type of monitoring or measurements. Even the Commonwealth's probation officer or someone from the probation office was fully in support of it. The prosecutor didn't oppose it. So as far as the court handling the issue of her medical disability as it relates to blowing into the, I'm just going to call it the scram device, that was a mishandle by that judge. And if I understood it correctly, and it's been a busy few days, the motion for reconsideration that Tim Bradel filed was also denied. So she's still in jail, if I heard that correctly. If I were her, and I was thinking about this earlier, I would appeal that. Sometimes I don't even consider filing appeals because they can be time consuming. They're certainly expensive for clients, but this is an issue that is precedent setting, and I would file it. But there's another issue to her medical disability, Leah, which is she's got postpartum depression, and that kind of loses some of the panache in this discussion because I don't know right now if there's any services that are available to her, meaningful services to help her deal with that mental health. I'm not going to call it a disorder, condition, okay? That mental health condition, to assess her, to monitor her, to have counselors and behavioral health therapists help her deal with that very, very important health condition. And from my experience as a healthcare lawyer, I can tell you most jails do not afford such robust services in that regard for mental health conditions. And the distance from her baby, the fact that she's undergone a trauma in the form of a gunshot, plus this pending prosecution against her, it's very important that the Commonwealth and, frankly, anyone who's against her, whether it's her own family, if anyone, did I hear the baby's father wants the house, or I don't know. If there's anyone who's adversarial to her, I'll group them all together.
Yeah.
Anyone who's adversarial should take a strong interest in making sure she has the resources to not only heal physically, but to heal mentally. And some women, it it never resolves postpartum depression. Some people, it can morph into other more serious mental health conditions. So this judge, and I don't remember her name, never even considered that. Now, admittedly, Bradel never asked for any accommodation about that. But this judge did not show any concern for her very rash decision to just say, you know what, forget it. I'm going to put her back into jail. Like, that's an important consideration that was overlooked.
Yeah, it was to your point, which is fantastic. Judge McCarthy Naaman, Kathleen McCarthy
Okay.
Naaman. She's really struck in a lot of anger with a lot of us because I thought, regardless of whatever she wanted to rule, that she should have at least had an opportunity to at least have some kind of level of visitation with her baby, even if that was supervised, based on the fact that this is still a situation that's being basically contended. And furthermore, going to the scram device, this past week, Attorney Bradel's office got the medical records to the judge and basically got that information in that judge's hands that says, regardless of whatever, here's the medical history. And some counter person on X that disagreed with me, I said, well, it's a known issue that she had this issue. So, when they ordered the scram device in the first place, they knew very well that there was an issue here with breathing. They knew that. They knew she was shot. Even before this judge had, said, well, you're going to have to, adhere to the scram device, what have you. That judge at no point says, is she actually going to be physically able to submit to this testing? Can we do? Because they're clearing her when she was in home arrest or house arrest. She was or confined to her home. She was allowed to go on approved medical appointments, right? So we all know that there's alternatives when it comes to testing your BAC. Mm-hmm. You can do like Coach, Coach Bombay got pulled over by the cops. And Mighty Ducks, I'm not trying to be funny when I say this, but he goes blood, breath, or urine. Meaning, if you can't do breath, then you got blood and urine. Right. And there's other tests that she can go to her approved path to go to the office, have a blood drawer, or submit to a urine test. Fulfill the test. This is not a matter, they're trying to make it seem like, well, she refused, she did not, there's a certain amount of parameters that she must adhere to while she's under house arrest living with her folks. And if she doesn't fulfill those, well, guess what? She's going off to jail, which is what happened. But this is not a typical situation where it was ignorance on Kelsey's part or some level of rebellion on her part. It was a matter of, this is basically like the movie Saw. It's a torture device. It's like a life and death situation that nobody wants to be in. It's like, it's like trying to run a cross-country race when you got strep throat. It's not going to be very easy for you. You're going to want to, you get the flu, like when Michael Jordan played with the flu in the 97 finals. He was falling all over the place, getting carried to the bench by his teammates, because it's very difficult to play basketball when you got the flu or you're even worse sick than that. In this particular case, this is a woman that is unable to breathe, is unable to fill the physical parameters or physical qualifications that needs to do that test. We breathe right now. We've all been breathing. Everybody watching the show is breathing. We're doing it effortlessly. We're not even thinking about consciously that we're breathing. There's no stress in our body. There is no strain. For her, it's a whole different situation. She has been shot not once but twice, and has a very big difficulty breathing, and for the judge not to even take that into consideration. Attorney Bradel, can your client take this test without any pain? Can we offer, since we've already approved the fact that she can go on doctor's visits, would you want your client to have to take a blood test or a urine test alternatively to the scram test? And this judge did not offer an alternative when this judge knew that this individual, Kelsey Fitz Simmons, did have wounds that would affect her breathing. This is why so many people that are following and supporting Kelsey Fitz Simmons believe this judge to be, pardon my French, the motherfucking Antichrist, okay? And that's why they start to believe this. And this is why so many people are like, man, I hate this judge more than whatever. Because this judge, all she had to do was give Kelsey and Bradel some options here on how to take this blood alcohol test. And then there you go. Yeah. You take your test. She takes a urine test once a week. She takes a blood test once a week, whatever they want. That's good. It's fulfilled. It's done. That's it. And she doesn't do that, knowing all this. So now Kelsey Fitzsimmons goes home. She's struggling. She's in pain. And she also feels lightheaded, you know, for the longest time, and cannot physically do this. And sure enough, as it would happen, you know, it's like I said, if someone breaks their leg and has to walk, you know, you can't really run a race with a broken leg. If you have a broken arm, you really can't throw a fastball over the plate if you're pitching for the New York Mets. Okay, you just can't do it. You're physically unable to perform. She's physically unable to perform the test while having her freedom, or at least limited freedom, at stake as a result. And in all of this, guess what happens? She physically can't take the test. She probably tried. Guess what? Can't do it anymore. And they go back to court. Bradel argues it. This judge cuts him off, and it's over. And then they submit the medical records a couple days later saying, these are Kelsey Fitzsimmons' medical restrictions. I got glare rolling over here, hopefully. These are her.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are her physical restrictions. Yeah. And then they don't even want to hear about it. You know, so here's the thing. As much as I disagree with the judge throwing her back in jail. Now, here's the thing. This judge had an opportunity to be less, to have people like myself and many others less angry with her if she had simply just said, okay, now Tim Bradel and his team have provided the medical documentation. Okay, great. It's gravy now. She can go back to her house. That would have been very redempting for that judge. But because she also denied that motion when medical information was submitted, that's why you have people like me dropping F-bombs on a show and comparing her to the opposite of Jesus.
Yeah, I believe that what you referred to her, or said summed it as the motherfucking Antichrist. I just want to
of that nature. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Like that. No, you said some may consider her that. So, but you're so right. Will, what are your thoughts on that?
You know, I honestly have not done my homework on the Kelsey Fitzsimmons case yet.
Yeah.
You're gonna love it, my friend.
Yeah.
I've been planning on doing so. The thing is, I realize that there are other factors to be considered before I start making judgments or start, you know, but from what I have seen though, I'll agree with you on the judge. She doesn't seem very flexible.
Yeah.
You know, but that's all I can really comment on. She just doesn't seem flexible at all.
Yeah.
She's so inflexible. And the other problem I have with this judge is that she made a ruling that went beyond what Bradel was asking for. Bradel hit her up on day 3. It was day 3. Kelsey was passing the tests. She was cooperating with pain. He went in for this reasonable adjustment of her terms of release. And it was, you know, many times lawyers do that. They go to court with hat in hand and say, Judge, we're asking for this, or we need that, or we need the guidance from the court because we've hit this issue. Not only did he do that, and he had every reason to expect any judge would work with him. Could deny a request, but deny it for the right reasons. This was the wrong reason to deny his request. But also he had the support, or as we say, the consent of his adversary. The Commonwealth, the prosecutor didn't object. The probation officer, I think it's the probation officer, was in full agreement. And in addition to that, and I don't know all the sophisticated aspects of it, but from what I learned on watching, I was watching I Don't Belong Here with Samantha Beningo the other day, and she went into what she had learned about the scram device technology, which actually, if I'm paraphrasing what I learned from watching her stream, was that I believe the actual scram device is something that you wear around your ankle, and the readings come through your sweat, and the measurements are done in that way. And then there's like a corollary product to that, which is actually not the scram device, but it is the tool that you blow into. So it's my understanding, if what I heard was accurate, that what the court in Kelsey's case is referring to as the scram is actually not the scram. But I don't want to get too into the weeds, other than to say that I do think that she should appeal it. And if she doesn't, then she's going to have a team full of people. Oh, hey, Mike, how are you? She's going to have a team full of people in her corner. But this is the man who is one of the most fired up in her support.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. It's another case that comes up, and the more and more you read it, the more and more angry you start to become about that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome Mike Crawford to this program tonight. Mike, as you know, has been really just covering a multitude of topics over the years. Most of the more notable ones for me have been matters in Canton, Karen Reed, Turtleboy, among them. But also, as this has gone on, there's been people that have come against him, and now Mike is now in a situation where he needs a legal defense fund. Tonight, we have raised a considerable amount of money for Mike, $620. So far to Mike Crawford's defense fund. And, someone like Mike, I want to help out just as much as anybody, because Mike and me have done a lot of shows together. And, I appreciate everything Mike's done. And the last thing I ever want to see is anybody with their back up against the wall. So I got Mike Crawford from the Young Jurks back on MazzaMedia. Mike, welcome to the program, sir.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for raising money for my legal defense and the other legal defenses too. Turtleboy, of course, and Kelsey Fitz Simmons. I know her family's watching right now, and they wanted to thank everybody.
Wow.
Galera, Dan and you, Mazza, and everybody who's donating and watching tonight. So it just means a lot to them to have.
Yeah.
I wish I had more to contribute to the conversation on Kelsey's case, because I know a lot of good people believe strongly in her case right now.
Yeah.
I'm the guy. I don't like to educate myself from other YouTubers on cases. So, it's just a question of me just getting it together and then getting all the documentation that's made available and look over it. And I'll even make I'll even make content out of it, like I did with Karen's case the first time, but I won't. I don't want to educate myself based on other opinions.
Yes. Understood. You want to be to yourself, and, you want to have your own, centralized standpoint and viewpoint on everything. And that's what we appreciate about you, Will, is you want to be completely organic at all times and not necessarily go with the narrative as much as you want to organically. And that's what you did with Karen Reed as well. You kind of organically formed your own position, which came out to be, strongly in support of Karen. And, I'm looking forward to you delving into this, because I think you could definitely, once you read all this stuff, I think that there's probably going to be a show very soon where you're talking about this, and you're going to be WTF, all on capital letters with an exclamation point.
But everyone keeps saying, everybody keeps telling me that.
Yeah, it has shades of Karen Reed's case and Turtleboy's case, where it just seems to be the same amount of, it's the same nonsense, different district, a North Shore matter. Mike being in the North Shore. This is a little bit probably, this is obviously more close to home. This is a more familiar area for Mike. So, Mike, I'll defer to you, because you're the one that kind of really started to get me introduced to this.
The big thing on this is there have been obviously some court documents filed, and a couple things I'll highlight. Number one is similar to Karen Reed. I think they overcharge right away. And I think you can see a lot in the fact that the testimony against her was this guy who shot her, Noonan, police officer, her partner, that she pointed the gun at him. And that's what they charged her with, attempted murder. But grand jury didn't indict her on that. So it's already like the big testimony against her, the grand jury didn't believe, because they charge her. What do they charge her with is brandishing the gun. Basically what she admitted to. She said she put the gun to her head. Basically, the DA's and the police officer's narrative has already been questioned by the grand jury. The grand jury didn't believe them from go. So that's one thing.
What is she officially charged with?
brandishing a weapon or something like that. Like it's like a kind of an assault if you have a weapon out, apparently.
And she's
But
she's
not
in
attempted
jail
murder.
without any bail for that.
Yes.
That's crazy. All right,
Yeah.
that right there alone is
Yeah.
weird.
And the
Right.
other thing too, I think like we don't know all the details that are going to come out. Like I have a hinkling on some things, but other things I know I'm not being told, but I'm being told, wait till court, wait till you see it. October 7th is the next court date. So I just hope people go and show up because they're not televising this. The judge isn't letting it be broadcast. So we need to get people out. We need to get reporters there. I'm going to be there hopefully every single time. But I hope other, especially journalists, YouTubers, anyone that's in the area, like cover this, like write and take notes. Like we need to be on this because I think a lot of the good stuff is going to start coming out in court. October 7th is the next hearing. It's right across from the T station. It's easy to get to, so you can take a bus, you can take a train, commuter train. There's a huge parking lot there. It's 1 block from the train station, downtown Salem. So that's, I just hope people show up for this.
Does anybody think that her charges are politically motivated in any way?
Yes. I just don't know which way yet. I mean, that's a feeling. There's something going on.
Well, because it feels like, I mean, the fact that she's a cop probably has something to do with it. But you would think that it would work towards her favor to some degree, unless she has a bad record as a cop. And again, I'm just thinking out loud here, somebody who has almost no information. So, but I'm finding it weird that she is charged only with brandishing a weapon. Now, I mean, that could be a serious charge, but she's a cop. So, and she got shot, right? So, I mean, why wouldn't they just drop that charge? You know what I mean? Get her some mental help. Why not? Okay, well, what was the reason why she brandished the weapon? What happened? Well, are they getting to the bottom of that? And they shot her twice, they're saying in the chat. Okay. So
once was a miss, apparently. So
why is the ultimate goal here to get her? What's the max sentence on if she's found guilty for brandishing a weapon? What's the max
that
sentence
I don't know.
I'm not sure on that. I need to find out.
Yeah.
I mean,
I thought I read something like that at the top of my head, but I can't remember either. But I thought wasn't it 5 years?
Something like that. It's I believe it's a felony. I think the big thing too on kind of like the situation you were talking about, like, they would favor her because she's a cop. Well, the other cops are more connected, Like
see, that's
like the cop who shot her, Noonan, was a cop in Lawrence for like over 10 years, and then he came to North Andover. He actually had less service in North Andover, but her boyfriend's a fire department guy. I guess he drives the ambulance. He has more time than Kelsey too, so I feel like he knows it. I think it's like, and this police department has had issues, 2 lawsuits filed within like the recent years, not like 20 years ago, like within the last couple of years, lawsuits filed by female police officers.
Yeah,
where this police chief has a history of doing things like pranks on subordinates. Like there was one case they brought out where he placed some obstacle in front of an elevator so people couldn't get out of the elevator. He moved their personal vehicles. He got into people's personal vehicles and drove them far away so they couldn't find their car. I mean, this is your police chief. Like, so I don't know. I think there's something to be said. Like, I think it's just kind of the mentality there. You're either part of the club or you're not.
So why is the prosecutor why does the
former police chief too
have such a hard on for getting a conviction on such a small charge?
I think he's probably friends with that police chief. Yeah, looking at that.
But why does the police chief want it so bad? That's where my
I think it's
protect.
Right, I think it's protect yourself now. I think it's protect yourself because
my
his
mind
officer shot somebody.
Right. See, all right. Maybe because to protect the officer that shot her
and the liability. Can you imagine how much your police department in your town would have to pay if you shot somebody that shouldn't have been shot? Think about that. That's a lot of money right there.
Right.
And I don't know if it's true. I have no idea what.
Aren't there deals on the table? Like, don't they, like they did that, something like that more or less too with the what do you call it? The West Memphis 3, where they're like, okay,
Mhm.
well, we're gonna let you out of prison, but you're not gonna like dispute that you did it. You know what I mean? And they're like, whatever, okay, just let us out. We don't give
Yeah.
a fuck anymore. You know what I mean? Like, so like, isn't there some sort of thing where they could just be like, okay, well, you know, you can't sue the city. You know what I mean? But we'll drop the charges or something. I mean, it just seems like there's a whole lot of effort here to get a conviction on something that's gonna, I mean, nobody can possibly think that she's a danger to society and that she needs to be locked up.
It's the
You know what I
biggest joke of
mean?
all.
Yeah.
Nobody can think that at this point. So like,
But
why?
yeah, that's a good point because the judge, right? But think about this too, Will. Like the judge brought up the public safety issue and kept bringing up this guy. He's like your size or bigger. Like this police officer is a big freaking guy. We've seen him. He's a large man. She's tiny. She's a tiny woman. He's a big guy. The guy she shot. And the judge kept on bringing up, like, if it was me, if I was a judge, I'm thinking, like, if I was worried about a woman that had mental health issues and maybe postpartum, the only one I would be worried about is the baby, right?
Mm.
Or maybe the fiance, maybe Justin, right? But I don't think he's afraid, even though he says he's afraid. And we can go through some of the issues with his stuff. But she kept on bringing up the officer, Noonan. She kept saying,
Yeah.
the judge kept on bringing up the big guy. The guy, like, he's got a gun. She's got no gun. She's got an ankle bracelet. She's at her mother's house. Like, she has no transportation. She can't leave. And she's worried. The judge is worried about Patrick Noonan, this huge cop, this huge seasoned cop with a gun. Like, it's, to me, that's just so insane. And I just wonder if this judge.
Wait. So
yeah.
that's her reason for
That was the
not-
judges.
for not
Yeah.
giving her bail.
Yeah.
Right? Because
She's afraid
for Noonan.
he'll do something to Noonan, the cop. And to me, that's so wild. Like, you know, Turtleboy gave out.
She's got an ankle monitor on. She's already
Right.
Yeah, okay.
You know, Turtleboy said that he thought maybe it could be because of him. It could be because of him and the Bradle connection. It could be that's why this judge is acting nuts. It could be. But I also wonder if she's not connected to that cop somehow or the police chief. You know, there's something. I just don't trust this judge at this point. The way that she acted. And especially, I think that was the giveaway that she kept on bringing his name up.
Yep.
Not the baby. Not the baby. I'd be thinking about the baby, right?
The baby or herself, you know,
Yeah.
that's more likely
Exactly.
who would be at risk, that she but does not
Right.
pose a risk to herself or her baby.
If she's
or
going to
her-
do something
yeah.
irrational, the most likely irrational act that she would engage in is trying to grab her baby, right?
Mhm.
Or herself. That's it.
Or her,
That's- That's
some-
we've heard that story. I mean, she actually. It's funny that you mentioned that because there's a story. I don't know if you know about this. Is that her partner who shot her and her, when Kelsey was 5 months pregnant, they responded to a scene of a mother who had, you know what, to her baby and herself, and they were both and that was the scene that she arrived at. Kelsey did, and so it's just the whole thing. It's just and it seems like this police chief offered her nothing, like no help, no mental health, nothing. Just like, here's some pizza, we handle it. We're cops. You know,
Yeah.
come to work tomorrow. Not even a day off.
This is why I go back to what I was saying before Mike joined, which was that this judge, in the way she handled this application that Bradle filed, this judge is demonstrating just a lack of awareness of postpartum depression and any of its kind of clinical tentacles that come along with that. Not just the fact that she will need mental health services while in jail, but also that the judge seemed to have been focused on that very large officer who might be at risk, as opposed to Kelsey as herself or her child. So it just seems to be ignorance on the part of this judge, and definitely a chip on her shoulder from the gate in that motion. I mean, when that application was filed, she was fit to be tied within the first 30 seconds.
Do we know if she has documented history of postpartum depression?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Do we know if she has any documented history of mental illness?
I haven't
Not
heard.
prior
Maybe
to
the
this,
chat
as far as
knows.
I know. From what I understand, it did start. There was some postpartum because they had taken our gun away before this incident, and she had just gotten it back, and it was related to some postpartum issues. So I'm pretty sure it's been documented. Yes.
Right. So anything that is a little bit uncommon in her behavior was all under the postpartum cloud, essentially, of behavior. So it's nothing out of that realm. So it's really, obviously she became a cop, right? Which means you had to have a pretty clean, obviously a clean criminal history, clean background, I should say.
Good. Cool. What's funny about that, I talked about that recently. And like there was just a couple of years ago. I mean, I just turned 50. So well into my 40s, I had considered the idea of becoming a cop and I inquired about it. And they were like, well, as long as you don't have any felonies, you're good. I was like, they were like, yeah, they need people. So we don't know if that was the case. Like there was a time where you would have to, and depending on the department, depending on the city, depending on the state, depending on all kinds of things, there was a time where you had to do like a mandatory polygraph test. You had to do all of these rigorous mental health examinations and things like that. But supposedly in some departments, depending on how desperate they are to staff people, a lot of these things are limited now. They don't have to do so much. So who knows? So I would be curious as to know what was her process of being accepted into the police department.
I love the fact that Will he's getting dug in right now. Like I love it. He's asking the tough questions that we can't answer. I'm looking at the chat.
I can answer a few things.
Yeah.
I know for a fact, like in Massachusetts, it seems like it is even happening here. What you're saying, like I would say in the last year or two, but for the longest time, to be a cop was a really hard job to get here because they're so well paid. Like we pay like ridiculous. You've
Yes,
seen
you
them.
do.
That's a great point too.
So a lot of these guys are ex-military. A lot of these guys, there's tests that you have to do. I don't know all the details of it, but I feel like they are actually starting to recruit more because it's not like it was 10 years ago. Like 10 years ago, lists were so long to become a cop. So it has kind of changed, but she was a correction officer. That's where Essex County correction officer for I think 3-4 years, something like that. So she did that for a while. And I think a woman at Essex County, like if you can handle that for a few years, I think that you're pretty, you get a good head on your shoulders because that's not an easy job, being a prison guard.
They'll take almost anybody there.
They will,
dude.
But
literally a block away from my house, there's a billboard over the road that's like corrections officer for this county, $60,000 a year after this.
Because it's a hard job. And that's the thing. Becoming a town cop is much harder in Massachusetts than becoming a correction officer. A lot of guys will do the correction thing for a few years to become a town cop or a state cop. You know what I mean? It's kind of like get your foot in the, because it's a hard job. Like who the hell wants to deal with prisoners all day? But I think if you could survive for a few years there, it shows, that she had to have some kind of head on her shoulders. You know what I mean? Like
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm just asking these questions based on like what would come up in a trial. What would potentially come up in a trial. And I'm also just factors as to why the hell these charges aren't dropped yet, or at least, adjusted to some degree based on the circumstances of the situation that took place. So it's just like brandishing a weapon. Okay. Yeah, we've established that, but was she a threat to anyone else? Technically, okay, yes, she was. If she was acting irrationally, that means she was potentially a threat to just about anybody within her environment. Sure. But did she literally actually threaten someone else? No, because had she done that, I'm sure they would have charged her with it. So there's none of those charges pending other than she was brandishing a weapon. So there's no specifics as to was she threatening anybody else? Was she a threat to herself? Blah, blah, blah. Just that she was brandishing a weapon. which is kind of weird. Like, I mean, it's
They,
really
they did originally charge her with attempted murder. Like they
Okay,
just
but
weren't
they
able to
dropped that
indict her.
charge.
They weren't able to indict her, and the cop said that she pointed the gun,
which
and
says
that
a lot
that he
because
pulled the
if they couldn't
yeah.
convince the grand jury to indict her
Exactly.
for that,
Mhm.
And so he
then-
said she pulled the trigger and that no bullet came out, that it was like empty. And apparently he said she tried to reload and all this crap. But I don't believe it.
So
Grand
he's
jury didn't
trying
believe
to
it.
say that there was a misfire. How do you prove a misfire?
That's
I know,
right.
Right. And there's 4 cops that were there. There's a lot of issues with how they handled this too, because the baby was there, her mother was there, the boyfriend was outside, but there were basically 3 cops there besides her, and they all have different stories, like on what was said, and they were in different rooms, and they knew there were guns in the house. She told them they were one place, they were somewhere else. She went to get the baby's clothes. That cop followed her one-on-one, and they haven't secured the guns. Like, and they're there for a restraining order. It was a clusterfuck. Like, they screwed up royally. Like, no matter which way, even if you think that she did what Noonan said she did, they screwed it up. And I think the reason why they won't drop the charges is because of the legal liability and the fact that this department has been sued twice in the last looks like 5 years. I'm not sure if it's exactly 5 years, but they've already been sued twice by female officers. This would be the 3rd lawsuit. Think about it. And she got shot.
Oh,
She
see,
got-
that's that.
You know,
Okay,
so-
that makes.
And
a
you know
lot
how much
more
money?
sense.
Can you imagine if it rules that, a
You know
court
me,
says,
man.
hey, you're
What do I
liable.
always
You
say?
shot this woman. You shouldn't have shot this woman. Like, that'd be millions of dollars.
What
So
do
that's
I
why I
always
think.
say, man?
It's like the Karen Reed case. It's another case of, number one, dug too deep. They're not going to reverse course now, and they gotta go all in on the story that they manifested from the standpoint, because someone fired. And that's the whole thing with firing a gun. Okay, she happens to aim a gun and the thing misfires. No, I'm not buying that.
I don't buy that shit.
No.
I don't buy
Oh,
it
she
for
just
a
happens.
second.
She just happens to pull out a gun, but oh wait, it misfires, and then our officer had to open fire on her with 2 shots to her chest. I don't buy that for a second. It sounds to me what really happened is that this officer
How do they
fired
plan
2
on selling
ill-advised
that?
shots. Yeah, I know. It sounds
Well,
ridiculous when you hear it.
Right. Well, she's a trained police
Yeah.
officer who knows how to fire a gun. Yes,
Right.
Your Honor, but we know that a woman carrying a gun, whether she's a trained officer or not, behind the barrel of a gun, a woman of all people is gonna be responsible for that gun to misfire. Let's be honest. Like,
You're a true thespian. I love it.
how are they going to
Yeah.
sell that? That's like, how are they going to possibly
Yeah.
sell that? That's ridiculous.
Right.
One,
Oh,
too.
the
There's
gun
another
jams and misfires, but
Yeah.
then she went to reload the thing, and she's gonna reload, and then you're just gonna. So now you're saying she went to reload. Now you open fire anyways. It doesn't
doesn't make
pass
sense.
the smell test. And then on top of this, Will, and this was said in the
Literally,
comments
like-
moments ago, there's no body cam footage. These officers go to serve this restraining order. They don't even have their body cams on, which makes it seem like what? Just like 34.
They don't have
Fairview
body
Road.
cams.
When
They
you
don't
know-
have body
None.
cams. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure from what I'm hearing, it's because of the police chief.
Right.
They don't have body cams. It's his fault. He got asked about it at the press conference, and he was like, no, we don't have body cameras. Walked away. Like, it's because of that police. A more example of how bad this police chief Gray is.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I swear to God, I think they're charging her because they don't want to be embarrassed. And there's a lot
Right.
more that's going to come out. They don't have body cameras, but I have a feeling some camera, maybe not of the exact incident, but some camera stuff might come into play anyways. If this ever goes to
Yeah.
trial, I'll just leave it at that.
I'm 100% with Aiden Turtleboy on that policy. Like, I wholeheartedly agree with the fact that there's no excuse for police departments to not have body cam.
None. Not this day and
there's
age.
none
It protects
whatsoever.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it protects exactly
From lawsuits and money.
Right,
and
right.
what it says. The message it sends is we don't want to be able for you to be able to prove why we're getting sued every time we get sued.
Correct.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's how
They
it
don't
comes
want the
off.
public to have the ability to be protected by that body cam footage if it gets subpoenaed
Right.
in a court case where a cop was out of line and opened fire on you without necessary reasoning, and that would show that body cam footage what she really did. If she put the gun to her temple, and that officer overreacted, pulled out his gun, but this was a cop that appears to be very protected in that precinct, and they'd rather back him up. And like I said, there's a phrase that they say in the Karen Reed community, quote unquote, pin it on the girl, which seems to be kind of what happened here. And then, the Karen Reed case, no ring footage on 34 Fairview that night. And it's, once again, it's a situation where footage of what happened would very easily clear this all up and show you exactly what happened. Instead, right now, you have a woman who has been shot twice, had her baby taken away, is unable to see her baby, gets out of jail for a breath of fresh air, some eggs, and a cup of coffee, and then winds up back in jail again because she's physically unable to perform a breathalyzer test because of her injuries sustained by gun wounds. And then all this is going on. So, I mean, this is absolute madness. It had shades of what happened to Karen Reed. It has shades of what's happened to John O'Keefe, and it has shades of what has happened in another police community, town community that was involved. Yeah.
Can you imagine the behind the scenes conversations with like the police chief and like the DA and the judge and everybody, like say they're the dirtiest people in the world and they're just sitting around going, well, truth of the matter is we can't afford to get sued this time because of all the money we spent on that damn Karen Reed case.
Yeah.
Like, can you just imagine? That would have to play into a factor of, well, we ran the numbers and it looks like
we'll bankrupt the town.
Yeah, it looks like Massachusetts already is $4 million in the hole thanks to this Karen Reed fiasco. So we can't, frankly, afford to get sued again here. So we're going to have to try to convict this woman and spend, I don't know, another couple $1 million to try to convict this woman of brandishing a weapon charge.
Yeah.
And with the salaries that are paid up there, which are so high, like cut into the salaries a little bit. Don't give your whatever percent pay increase and create a new budget line item and get everyone issued body cams. I mean, that is that's state of the art.
I don't even think they need to do that. There are federal grants, and apparently I've been hearing this a lot in the chat. I need to look into this, but people are saying in 2021, this town got awarded a grant for body cams.
Oh, really?
And there's been nothing. There's been no pilot. So we need to look into that. That's how shady this shit is.
I can get a body cam off of Instagram for $30, bro.
Well, the problem is the storage.
Know what I'm saying?
That's where even the bigger costs are on the body cam is the storage and the batteries and shit like that. But I mean, it's not that expensive. They could have done a pilot, especially since they got grant money. They actually got money. So where the frick's that money? But there's so many things in this story. Like this kid, Justin, the fiance, he claims he files paperwork with the courts that she's dangerous, that he's scared for his life. And then what does he do? He goes to her house where she has a gun. She got her gun back. And he goes to her house where he's living and he retrieves his own gun. He goes into the house where she's at. If you were scared for your life, if you filed paperwork with the court that you were frightened for your life, would you go to that person's house to get your shit without a police escort?
Right.
Nope. That's a good point.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit like that in this case. You can see timelines.
And I see that too. Like I see that, like what you're looking at, make no mistake, is one of the biggest issues that I see that the public is having with this case is her being separated from her baby. Y'all need to prepare yourselves because that's going to be a whole nother issue. That's family court shit. And that's shit that you're not going to be able to have any influence over. You're going to be able to have any say over, and you don't want to get in the middle of a family court shit, man. Trust me, I went down that road as a YouTuber, man, and it did not come out good. Don't do that to yourselves. Because you're not going to be able to make a difference in that situation at all.
And that's why I don't practice in that area for that very reason. It's tough.
Yeah, because now it's going to be an issue whether or not she beats these charges or not. She's going to have to go through family court and fight the boyfriend, and there's really nothing anybody can do about that. So
wow.
Nan, just about time. You had an 8:00 cutoff tonight, so I just want to give you the final thoughts, final words, and we'll bid you fair due.
Thank you
What do
so
do?
much. Thank you
Yeah.
for having me.
Yeah.
It's been like a pleasure being with all of you this evening and being able to discuss old memories and good memories, and also what's moving forward for Karen's case, Aiden's case, kicking Lindsay Gaetani around a little bit, and Grant Smith Ellis, talking about Kelsey's matter, and hopefully getting some real good progress and momentum built up in that regard. And then Mike, you know how I feel about the case that's pending against you. I think it's absolute BS, and I will help you however I can. I'm sorry that at least I didn't get to speak about it yet this evening before the time I had to go. But you know where I stand, and I'm a firm supporter of you and your channel and the defense of the frivolous claims against you. So I want to bid everyone a good evening and hopefully have a great week. And it sounds like we have some good hearings coming up.
Absolutely. A
Yeah.
lot to focus on and
Thank
a
you
lot
so
to fight
much.
for. Nan, thank you so much for coming on this program and just helping out with everything tonight. You've been absolutely awesome. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a great evening.
Thanks,
you.
guys. Have a great
Later,
evening.
man.
Later, Nan. All
Bye.
right. Nan Gallagher, ladies and gentlemen, tonight on
Woo.
MazzaMedia. And with the young Mike, the young Jurks, and the glare. And the funds are here, folks. We got $540 raised for Aiden so far
Hell
tonight.
yeah.
$630 raised for the man to the left of your screen, Mike Crawford of the Young Jurks, and $685 has been raised for Kelsey Fitz Simmons tonight. And I think too, Will, like you said, you're just you're just new to learning about this case, and I think what's great is that that's kind of what the work we all need to do, is to get this information out there so everyone can have the opportunity to learn about it, research it, start to dig in, because that's kind of what happened for me with me in the Karen Reed case, and a lot of us was that we heard about it somewhere, we started to read into it more, and then the more we read about it, we started to kind of develop our own conclusions about what happened, and then kind of took it from there. So I'm looking forward to you and so many others learning about this case. I'm actually reading in the chat, Mike, you want to confirm this? She actually had a miscarriage when she was shot. Is that accurate?
Confirm or deny that. That was
Okay.
reported by Jessica Machado. I saw.
Okay.
And I tried to find out, and my source is not going to confirm or deny it or say
Okay.
anything about that. So I don't
Okay.
know.
Jessica Machado's pretty credible,
Yeah.
you know. So I mean, I'm sure there's. I mean, I would trust if she says she's got a source that confirms it, then I trust Jess Machado.
Yeah. That's wild. It's just that all it does is add another major layer to all of this. And we're all, people like myself, like, wow, she can't see her kid right now. But then if you add on the fact that a miscarriage is involved here, now this is just a multiplying matter. Yeah, it absolutely is. It's insanity. And this is it's very troublesome that we're learning about this kind of stuff in our state, that this is going on, that these stories are not being presented with the level of clarity that they should. For example, Karen Reed's case should have been simply, she drove home. Something happened to John O'Keefe that she had nothing to do with it. Who did it? That's where it should have rested. Same thing with Kelsey. If there was an issue or whatever, it should have been handled without gunshots being fired. She shouldn't have to spend time in jail and other things like that as well. I understand that, things went a certain way, but postpartum can't be ignored. And also, was there anything that happened that would have warranted her being shot? The news I'm hearing, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, is that she had placed the gun to her temple. That's what she had attested to, correct? That's how I read it. And then at that point, right, they shouldn't. Then she was shot. See, and it just that's what bothers me about life, is that people in situations that are misconstrued, taken out of context and spun, and then there's a group of individuals that then want to tell a certain story a certain way that's not rooted in accuracy, where someone like John O'Keefe, Karen Reed, Sandra Birchmore.
Don't you know, Mazza, that everything is based on somebody's truth? My truth.
Yeah.
My truth is this and this and this. And this is what we hear all the time. And there's a whole culture of this. So you're never, the only way is to look at facts and look at them objectively. Is the only way to get to the truth.
Right. Yeah, it's insane. And to that point, it's just, this is what can happen to someone. She gets shot. Apparently unconfirmed at this time, a miscarriage. She goes to jail. She gets out of jail. Can't see her kid. Then she has to take a breathalyzer. They call it the scram, that she can't physically complete. It's rooted in madness. And this is why, once these stories start to kind of spread, they'll start to say, oh, it's a campaign online. Well, whatever. But people that read these stories that, I've talked to so many people that have followed the Karen Reed case. We've all done that. And they all say the same thing. She's innocent. And people empathize with Kelsey Fitz Simmons and where she was at with postpartum depression. They completely can understand and relate to whatever degree it is that she went through a certain period in her life where things were difficult and it wasn't helped in any way, shape, or form, that she gets shot over it. And then if she is shot, if an officer that we believe right now, based on what we've read, was incorrect in doing that and unjustified in doing that, now we have a woman that needs surgery, that is now facing a 5-year maximum prison sentence. And worst of all, this is excluding the unconfirmed miscarriage that we are or are not factoring in. She can't see her kid right now. She can still not see her child right now, which is the craziest, most depressing part of this whole thing.
Yeah. And Mike, I think Mike is based on everything that I've heard so far, Mike is making the most sense. Because when we try to, at least me, what I do when I try to like make sense of something that is not making sense happening, I try to find out who benefits, why, what would be the motive, right? Like if there's some weird reason as to prosecuting this woman on something just seems so bogus, like a big waste of taxpayer money and time, and resources. Like it seems ridiculous. What is the motive? Well, what Mike is explaining makes the perfect amount of sense. So, they figure they can't afford another lawsuit. And if she has grounds to sue, especially for getting shot, and if she shouldn't have been shot,
it's a baby,
and
if she lost a baby, right?
And
imagine
she lost
what,
the baby.
What do you put a price tag on a baby if she lost the baby?
Right. So she potentially, in theory, I'm not a lawyer, but potentially in theory has grounds for a class action lawsuit.
Yeah.
And that is definitely something to be afraid of. And it would definitely help their favor if they have a conviction on record that she was brandishing a weapon, because there's a lot of spin to be attached to that if they can. You know what I mean? Oh, well, she was found guilty of brandishing a weapon. Your Honor, let me paint the picture as to this scenario as to what happened. And since that is on record that she was convicted of this, it sells the rest of the story better to discredit her when it comes to her efforts in suing them. Does that make sense?
It does make perfect sense, Mike. Now, there was supposed to be a family and probate court on Tuesday, but that has been pushed back to an undetermined time because she's unable to really be prepared for that based on what's happened.
That's what I'm expecting. I haven't heard that like 100% confirmed, but I'm definitely expecting that to be the case, because that's the other issue. Like putting her in jail hurts her defense, and especially the family court. She has had no time to prepare. They move her back to Chicopee. So I don't expect Tuesday to happen in family court. No, I think the next hearing is October 7th. That's going to be the Superior Court criminal case.
Wow, it's just amazing how this all happened. And like I said, there's so many commonalities with the Karen Reed case here. This is what, like, when I heard this story, like when I cover topics or things on my story, I don't talk about a lot of other things. It's mostly Karen Reed, Turtleboy, whatever. But this is a story that has so many commonalities to it with the Karen Reed case that it literally is the same stuff that's rooted in this story that drives me to the point of wanting to talk about it, like I did the Karen Reed case and Turtleboy cases, because it's just, you're seeing a police department that we can't trust. You're seeing, once again, a judge that is acting like a gatekeeper or a guardian for the DA's office and Essex County, right? Essex County, this is.
And throwing a woman under the bus to cover the asses of some good old boys.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's
right.
Like, it's what it boils down to, isn't it?
It's like Karen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing too. It's like, it's so obvious now when we see this shit. It's like, who's the odd person here? It's this blonde woman. It's like, she's the odd person out.
Yeah. It's crazy. And then it's this, oh, well, yeah, she did this, she did that. And like I said, that part where they talk about her gun misfiring, I'm like, no, that's no. That
No
I, don't, I
evidence, right?
find that very far-fetched. I really do. I understand guns do misfire, but the odds of that gun misfiring in that situation where a cop did, it's not like, for example, she fired the gun, misfired, she went to reload it, then they tackled her to the ground and made an arrest without actually ever firing return fire. If that had been the story they were telling, I would probably find that a lot more likely to be believed. But it's the fact that that officer fired not one, but 2 shots at her that makes me think this officer was in error when he fired those shots off. That's exactly what I defer to. But it's, oh, she misfired. Well, we're going to justify it. Oh, she also went to reload because they wanted to make it seem like she's an active threat.
What I understand is he shot twice, missed the first time, and then the second time hit her in the clavicle area.
I believe so.
But see,
Yeah.
the issue that I take with that, and people
Yeah.
are going to jump down my throat for this, but the issue that I take with that is it sounds consistent with somebody who was going to put the gun to their head and to prevent them from being able to hurt
Do it.
themselves. A non-lethal, a deliberate non-lethal
You're
shot
right.
to her.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting because Betterow noted that if he was in real danger, cops are generally trained, and even some other firearms people that I talked to, they said, if it's 6 bullets in the cartridge, you're trained to use 5 of them, so that you have 1 left, and you just unload it until that person, till the threats are neutralized. You unload, you get rid of all your bullets except maybe 1.
A
He shot
deliberate
twice, like you
non-lethal
said.
shot. Right. He missed the first time because he was not trying to kill her. If he was trying to kill her, he would have hit her the first time.
Yeah.
But missed the first time, and then the second time got her in a non-lethal area where he knew it could incapacitate her arm from being able to raise. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Totally.
Mike, let me ask you your theory right now on all of this. Do you believe this officer that shot her? Do you believe that, like to Will's point, do you believe that the first shot was a purpose shot? And what a purpose shot is, it's like a purpose pitch in baseball. Purpose pitch is when you throw a pitch outside of the batter's box to try to draw the batter to swing and miss. Do you think that this officer was basically within his reasons to fire a purpose shot off to the side to try to deter her from killing herself, and then the second shot hit by mistake? Or do you believe this is an officer that went into a panic mode and fired 2 shots off, fearing that she would potentially either kill herself or maybe, turn the gun on them prior to, putting the gun to her temple? That makes
I
sense.
have no idea. I could see both scenarios making
Yeah.
sense. It also what Will said. I think, yeah, maybe he did do a warning shot, and maybe he shot her in the chest. But
Yeah.
I'm not even
who
saying it
knows?
was a warning shot. I'm saying
Yeah.
that he
Yeah.
shot twice, aiming for a non-lethal shot, but
Wow.
missed. And then the second shot, he was able to get it.
Yeah. And then in a live situation, it's like when I do live radio or we do these live shows, anything can happen, right? I mean, you might plan and prepare, but then once shit's live, it's out the window. Anything happens. So when you have guns pulled out, who knows, right? I mean, I don't know. He could have missed. He could have done a warning shot. It could have been any of that shit. I don't know.
I mean, they don't sound very well trained.
No,
you know what I mean?
no,
Like, so
they don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
the first thing they should have done, they knew she had guns. They knew she had a baby in the house. They knew there was family in there. They should have said, look, come outside with us.
Right.
Where are the guns? We're going to stand with you outside.
Right.
And you're going to tell us where the guns are. We're going to go find all the guns. And
No
then,
effort to
okay, now we'll
de-escalate.
let you back. Now that we have all your guns, we know you have 3 guns. Now you can go back in the house and go get the baby's clothes. Instead, they just let her roam
Make
the
sure
house.
she's not a hazard to herself. Right.
Or yeah,
Make
just
sure she's
step
not
out.
a
He
hazard
really
to
thought she was
herself.
dangerous with
and not-
guns. And you know
Right.
she has
Right.
guns.
And
Right.
every body
Well, that's a
cam
great
footage
point,
in
Mike.
a
Yeah.
situation like that. I mean, you see situations like that body cam footage that you watch all the time, and it's just okay. We're responding to a call, domestic thing, whatever, and it's okay. Do you mind just stand right over here? Outside, just stand right over here. Let me talk to you. Let me get your side of the story, whatever. And then while
Right.
the other officer goes, hey, do you mind if I come in, take a look around? The other person's distracted. The person who was initially a danger, no longer a danger. That situation, if that would have been in theory applied right then and there, I don't see how anybody would end up getting shot. So I don't know why it was so hard to do what I see cops do all the time, which is just, okay, keep one person over here, talk to them outside, the other person say, hey, let me talk to you real quick, and even pull that person outside and have an officer talk to them. There's 3 cops, right? So the third cop, you mind if I go in there, take a look around, you know where the guns are, it's just for our safety, blah, blah, blah. And unless they go, hey, I don't feel comfortable with you going around and looking around, well, all right, well, we'll come in there, and then you keep your eye on one guy and you just point out to me where all the guns are. And the other person who supposedly is the threat is being talked to and
Right.
being told to tell her story and vent while all of this is going on inside the house. We've seen this happen a million times. There's no reason in theory why this couldn't have happened then. Now I'd need body cam footage to make me feel differently, but unfortunately we don't have that. So
Right.
in theory, that should have been the way they handled it, and they failed. They dropped the ball.
Right. And then, there's alternatives
No
too.
plan.
You have, not necessarily if you have someone that might potentially be in a situation where they're going to become a potential violent threat, you could use beanbags or not rubber bullets, non-lethal rounds, or you could use not
Right.
beanbags, the non-lethal rounds, or you can use taser guns. If they knew this woman was going to be, hey, look, she has a gun, she's armed. We don't want this to become a lethal thing. Let's just have someone up front. I saw it in the show Southland one time on TNT a long time ago. They went up to someone's house. They came out with a gun. The guy pulled out a gun. It had like a green shotgun pump on it. It meant it was a non-lethal weapon. And they were able to neutralize the threat without actually killing the person or potentially wounding them in a way that would cause a lethal, she could have very easily died from her gun wound. She did not, thankfully. But that's, like you said, this is where you start to look at this now from a police, like we have been, from a police preparation and a police procedure manner.
Training
is, there's a gun in the house. You know that this individual is going to have their kid taken from them. You don't know how they're going to act. And now you're outside their house, and now it's basically turning into, you're inside their house, and now it's going to turn into the wild, wild west, and it's going to turn into a shootout. And it could have been even more tragic if she was shot and killed, for goodness sakes. But overall, there's ways around this that could have been better handled. And of course, we understand.
It seems like there wasn't a lot to focus on de-escalation.
Correct.
Initially, when it should have been.
Correct. Absolutely. It could have been more successfully de-escalated than that. And that's, like I said, when you're shooting at her with lethal rounds, it's a bad situation. And again, as a cop, what can you do to make sure it doesn't get to that point? And I understand, like in all situations, this is Monday morning quarterbacking. It's hindsight's 2020. I get it. But like Mike said, they know this person's a cop. They know this person's one of them. They know this person's being served. To lose a child, this is going to be a big situation, and it could potentially come to that. And sure enough, it does. And then this is handled inappropriately. And then beyond that, now we got 2 different stories. We got a story saying she pointed a gun and the gun jammed. Then she tried to reload it to fire again, which most people at that point, I don't know what they do. But then you got this other story, which she says put the gun to her temple.
Where was she shot exactly?
Somewhere in the somewhere, I think
severe. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but I know the damage. It's severe liver damage, diaphragm damage, liver damage. I think I'm forgetting something else.
Diaphragm damage would indicate that she's probably closer to the middle of her chest. Was it
liver?
Left
maybe
side
it went
of her
down,
chest, or the left side of her chest, or the right side of her chest? That's important because was it near closer to her heart or more further away from her heart?
I don't know that. I don't know those specific anatomy details.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just
know what kind of
the reason why I'm asking is it it helps me understand the scenario better. Like
Yeah.
I'm willing,
you know what?
I'm willing
That's the
to
other one.
I'm willing
Yeah.
to entertain right now based on the information I have until I have more information.
Yeah.
I'm willing to entertain the idea that it was a deliberately non-lethal shot.
They're saying
ribs,
it's.
too.
So I
That's
thought
the
it
other
was. Yeah, I thought it
Two
was more
broken
upper.
ribs.
But someone's saying, okay, someone's saying punctured lung and broken ribs. So it was right in that
2
cage
broken
area.
ribs,
Okay.
damaged lung, severe lung damage is what
Yeah.
it was in the court filing. Severe lung damage,
Right.
diaphragm damage.
Obviously, it's not near the clavicle. I got that, guys. What I'm saying,
I don't even know where the clavicle is. I thought that was near the ribs. I don't know. Where is the clavicle? Oh,
is up
that's a
here.
shoulder.
That's this
I
one.
see
That's
what
what
you're
I. That's
saying.
what
Yeah,
I thought initially. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's more like the ribs, lung area, liver.
But if he missed the first
But
time,
that doesn't. Yeah, I mean the
it
bullet
doesn't
could have gone
mean-
down too.
it doesn't
right?
mean that he wasn't aiming for the clavicle.
No,
Is
yeah.
my point. Like
it could have hit her
Yeah.
here and gone down. You know what I mean? Like that's
Like,
you don't know which
you all
direction.
can sit here and yell at me all you want. I'm saying I am going to analyze these cases by playing devil's
Yes.
advocate. I did that with the Karen Reed case. I don't regret it, and you guys get mad at me all you want while I do it, but I'm going to do it whether you like it or not.
Yes.
So I'm going to think objectively in every fact that comes across that I
And you
come
should.
across in
And
regards
you
to
should,
this
because you're going to have a more organic belief system that way. So that's what we definitely want. Was the chat getting you ruffled there, Will?
Well, yeah, they're like, no, Will. And they're like, it wasn't. No, she was shot in the chest. Plain and simple, shot in the chest. It's not
Yeah.
that simple. I'm asking valid questions. You guys just don't like it because when you hear that she was shot in the chest, you automatically assume that this person was deliberately trying to kill her. I don't know that yet. I'm willing to entertain that as much as I'm willing to entertain that he wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay. That's how we get to the facts. It's at least how I get to the facts.
Yeah, it's crazy how this stuff comes down too. It's like a lot of times it comes down to like cop, like a lot of times in society, no matter the police department, no matter what, there's a lot of cops that a lot of times don't have the I wouldn't say necessary training, I would say the in-depth training, meaning beyond the scope of the initial level, the 101 level, maybe even the 201 level. They just have more on the fly combat training. Go ahead, Will.
Sorry, I just have to address this one comment. Misty's going definitely not a non-lethal shot, in my opinion. I apologize to you, Misty. I'm sorry to tell you, but since she's alive right now,
I was gonna
it
say
was
it
a
is non-lethal.
non-lethal shot. So
It
your
may not have been
opinion-
meant to, but it is. It was. Yeah.
Your opinion in that case just doesn't
Wrong.
apply. So sorry, go ahead, Mazza.
I
No,
love
it's
that.
okay. I'll defer to Mike. I'm doing some calculations right now. I'm getting the latest fundraiser.
I
totals.
just love how she corrected you with something that was like clearly wrong.
And I love Misty. I do.
I love
I
it.
recognize her name in the chat quite a bit. We're okay.
See how hard this is, Missy? There's times we all make mistakes. It's like easy to like when you're alive for friggin' 2+ hours. It's easy,
Yeah.
especially Will. Will doesn't even know her. He's just asking. He's trying to figure it out.
I'm asking questions, bro. Like that's it. That's literally
Jesus
all I'm
Christ.
doing.
I'm just asking
Oh,
questions.
I'm on the Grace Curley show, and I'm like, welcome to the Grace Curley show. Like I get it like 3 times. Like I was so ready to say the young fucking jerks. It's like
we got some
can't
dollar
teach an old
updates. Here
dog
we
new
go.
tricks, man.
We got some updates. Here we go. Aiden, Turtleboy, $570 raised. Mike from the Young Jurks,
Yeah,
$760 raised. And Kelsey Fitzsimmons also closing in nearly up to $800. $795 is the estimated raise total right now. We're running. I'm just doing the calculations off what the dollar value was when it started. The show started minus what it is now. So we get $795 off the calculation on that, which is fantastic. Raising some big money here. Collaboratively, we're over $2,000 total with absolute certainty on that, which is unbelievable, guys. Awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing.
We're thankful. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you, everyone, for donating to them all 3 of them.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
man.
Triple fundraiser. Yeah, I didn't know which fundraiser to do. I'm like, who should I do a fundraiser for? And I'm like, I want to do a fundraiser show. I'm like, well, What if I just did all of them?
I love it.
Let the viewer choose who they want to donate to, and if they want to donate to more, some people have donated more than one tonight, which has been great. So
I have a radical, probably the most radical idea for a fundraiser that's been thought up yet, as far as this shit goes. But I'm not ready to like announce it yet. There's still some focus group. There's still some focus grouping that needs to take place for me to like decide that it's actually going to work and be successful. But in theory, it's going to be fucking crazy and awesome.
Yeah.
Like
Britt Happens writes, where's the social worker in this scenario? Mike, do you know anything about that?
And there was somebody there, I believe, but I don't know. They end up giving the baby to the father.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know there wasn't any social worker for her. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, it's just wild. This kind of stuff goes on all the time. It's a crazy story. I mean, like I'm still wrapping my head around the details and all that, but I just, what drives me the most insane about this whole story is just the judge's decision still. Like that still is the one thing I cannot get over. I cannot get over how.
Yeah, people are talking about her like she is like Bev on steroids.
Pretty much. You remember the Shredder in Ninja Turtles 2?
Yes.
You remember what happened at the end of that movie?
Exactly what you're talking
You remember what happened at the end of that movie? It's a super Shredder.
Like what? When that happened,
kind of like that.
Why did that happen? What is this?
It's kind of like that. That was Kevin Nash that played Super Shredder, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, that was him.
Big Sexy?
No, that's him. That was him.
I had no idea. Fun fact. I love it.
That's some trivia for you tonight. Movie trivia. Mike, let's talk about
it was all CGI.
No, yeah, back in 91 now.
Oh, 91. Oh,
yeah.
You're talking about that. Oh, yeah. That was Kevin Nash.
That was Kevin Nash. Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. It was the sequel to the one with Casey Jones where the Shredder falls off into the dump truck. This is the second one.
With Vanilla Ice, Ninja.
Vanilla Ice. They fight Tokan Razor, the turtle and the wolf or whatever.
Yeah. He did the move. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Vanilla Ice Baby. Ninja Rap.
Yeah.
Go Ninja Go. Yeah.
Go Ninja Go. Good shit.
Oh man. Mike, we talked about Turtleboy's case. We've talked about Kelsey Fitzsimmons. Let's talk about your matter. Just what's going on with you if you feel like you want to talk about that. If not, we can talk about other things. Your call.
I mean, basically, I think some people know, maybe some people don't. I'm being sued for defamation, basically for what happened on my show. It was a discussion on my show with two victims, I feel like, of this other dude and his nonprofit. They were supposed to represent people for social equity, and it felt like more like they were shaking down people. And basically these the two brothers that own started this nonprofit were backed by Grant Smith Ellis. The two brothers have criminal records, not for cannabis. One of the brothers who's suing me has a violent gun charge, attempted murder charge in the past against him that was expunged. They can't be licensed in the cannabis industry, so they basically found a way to start a nonprofit and then get money from the big dispensary companies. And the other brother, more recently, got arrested for child rape under the age of 14.
Wow.
And their nonprofit shit the bed, and they're trying to blame it on me, on what happened on my show when I reported some of this information. They also got in a violent fight at an event that was on video. The guy that they got in a fight with got charged. They didn't. I saw the video. It looks to me like three of them approached the one guy that actually got charged for the crime. He's since had his charges dismissed. He came on my show and talked about it. His wife talked about it. These other folks talked about it on my show. We're all basically getting sued, and it's for telling the truth. And it's just, and it's really corrupt because these guys were backed by the mayor of Boston, Michelle Wu, Democrat. She did a big photo op with them, gave them a $50,000 check. The state of Massachusetts was backing them. This is just basically a grift. It was really a grift, and they were politically connected, and I blew it up. I friggin' exposed them. And so now they're mad at me. They saw that I made money on Karen Reed, and they're like, oh, Mike's getting money. Let's friggin' sue him. Let's ruin his shit. And that's what's going on. And it's cost me a shitload of money.
Yeah.
I spent it's over 25 G's. I just got another one, so it's over 30 now because I got another bill for $5,000, and that just to
Wow.
dismiss the motion to dismiss. We haven't even gone to court yet. This is just my attorney writing all these pages and pages and pages of dismissal, hopefully. And it, like Dan said, it might not get dismissed unless I get a really good judge. I'm probably going to go through a whole friggin' trial and win. I'm going to win in the end, but it's going to cost me a shitload of money. And these guys, I'm not going to get my money back. So it's costing me money. I could settle. I don't want to settle. I don't want to get shaken down by these grifters. I'm fighting this all the way for free speech. I'm putting my money up, and I appreciate people who kick in too, because I want to let people know this is bullshit, and we're not going to take it. When people sue us, they're gonna suffer, because like he's gonna have to spend as much money as I'm spending, and he's not gonna win this. He's not gonna get a handout from me. Not getting an apology. I'm not taking shit down. I'm standing on free speech. I did nothing wrong but tell the truth, and that's it. So that's what's going on there.
There you go.
Yeah, no, it's good for you, Mike. Yeah, it's a tough situation to be in, and unfortunately, it's a lot of times you just got to fight right through it. And thankfully, you got the support to back you up, and people to raise money for you, and not. I'm saying that backwards. People to donate money for you to back you up, participate in that, and give you an opportunity to defend yourself with the least amount of financial burden as possible. Which is important here. So I think that, like, to me, fundraising is just the biggest thing I think I can do. When I have a show, Will's been, the master of 12-hour fundraisers, which has been incredible to watch and participate in. And it's just been, I think we can help people, stand up for themselves. It's one thing to stand up for yourself, but it's another thing when you're standing up by yourself. When you're standing up with a backing behind you, people support you. Yeah, it does. It helps out.
You don't even know. You don't because when I started my give, send, go, I didn't know if people were going to give, what they were going to say. And I know some people always shit talk because they're like, you can't afford to do this yourself, and you got yourself into this and all this shit. But when you start seeing people stepping up and throwing their $5 and then $10 down, it adds up, number one. But even beyond that, it's just like the boost that you feel like, okay, people know, they believe in me. They get what's going on here. It means a lot. And I got to say, like, the amount of cost, I don't think people realize it's like $1,000 an hour. If your guy's writing like how many pages in Turtleboy's motion? How much was that Betterow wrote? Dude, like 100. I
don't even want to think about how much that cost.
Can you imagine how much money? Because Betterow's probably charging $1,000 an hour. That's what my attorney's charging. That's civil. And if Betterow's like even above that, he's criminal. So I mean,
make no mistake, man. Like, we adore Betterow, right?
Yeah, we do.
Adore Betterow for being, so insightful. But y'all in the chat, all you see is the Betterow who's like, I'm gonna be on this channel and I don't want to see any money. No. Yo, behind the scenes, he's writing 88-page motions that cost money, and they cost Turtleboy specifically a lot of money, dude. So he's very generous with his time to you, but don't
not
assume
when
that
it's in the not when it's his thing.
Don't assume that shit's happening with Turtleboy.
No way.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cost. It's just you need it. Like there's a reason why. Like I could get somebody probably half the price I have, but why?
You don't want to lose the quality.
Around? Yeah, you need somebody. You need a Betterow. You need a Bradle. Like when you're in this situation, you're willing to pay because you're like the alternative just isn't. It's not worth saving money.
No, and
if it's a simple case, it's different. This is the thing with Turtleboy. It's very complicated. I mean, there's a lot of shit to this. Even my little civil defamation case, there's a lot of shit to that. That's why I need someone who's an expert. Like
the more substance to his defense, the more expensive it's gonna be.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like there's more to it. Like that's more material. That's more material that needs to be gone over. That's more material that needs to be analyzed, which is what Olivia was hired to do. She is an analyst. She's not an assistant. She is an analyst, and a brilliant one at that. And this Olivia costs money too. So
all of
it. This is printing, not.
It's just going.
That's even her real name.
Right. We're counting on Turtleboy to expose governmental corruption locally there in Massachusetts, but it's not going to be cheap.
It's not cheap.
Oh yeah,
freedom of speech is not free.
It
costs money.
He's got
Right.
Tim Bradle too as his first attorney, and obviously 2 attorneys getting paid, and then like
Right.
Karen Reed. I mean, she had her attorneys were working pro bono. It looked like throughout the second one, but she had Unetti and then Little and Jackson, and it just became a lot of expenses.
And then they have paralegal, like
Right.
Courtney's a paralegal, and then they have private detectives. Like they're all Bradle has a private detective, like
Right.
so
Right.
there's a lot of, and then there's printing, like there's a lot of extra cost people even
Right.
beyond the Bradles and the Betterways. It just goes on and
Yeah.
on and on.
Yeah, that was all the money that everyone donated for Karen Reed's defense. Her team was working pro bono, but the fact is that the stuff that comes with it costs money, whether they like it or not, whether everybody likes it or not.
Transportation,
investigators,
hotels,
experts,
investigators.
These people got bills, dude. They're charging. This is my cost. This is my fee, and it's going to get paid if you want me to help your defense. That's how that works.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, they don't get to go, hey, we're working pro bono, so how about you do the same, homie?
Right.
No.
That's not how it works.
No, ARCA guys need money.
And the limo's not showing up to drive you back from the airport if you're not paying. I mean, no one's driving for free. Come on.
Right.
And, the American Airlines is not giving you a free ticket because you're Karen Reed's defense attorney.
No, not at all. Yeah, and you want to take those red eyes sometimes too. You got to take those Auntie Bev recommended red eyes. Take a red eye. Take a red eye, Alan Jackson. He's like, how about
you could just go on Zoom. Just do it on Zoom, Mr. Jackson.
Yeah. That's wild.
I thank crazy. You all. Thank you everybody for doing this tonight. I really appreciate it. I love to see it for Kelsey too, like to see her family watching this and happy, and because I don't know if you got if you realize, but the boyfriend filed like right after Kelsey got brought back to jail. He filed for her money. She's selling the house. She's right now. Her father's trying to sell the house that she lived in because that's where it happened. That's the crime scene. She doesn't want to live there.
It seems so dirty on the. I don't want to judge the boyfriend yet because I don't have enough information. But that seems like a shit move, dude.
And she hasn't even like it'd be one thing if she owed 5 years of child support or some shit. She doesn't owe him anything right now. You know what I mean? Like he's like, I need to seize all that money.
Do you feel? I thought about this the other day. I was doing yard work and I had this thought, and I said to myself, I think I was cutting the lawn, and a lot of times I have a lot of internal dialogue when I'm running the lawnmower, and I'm thinking to myself, is it out of the realm of possibility that at some point in the future that Kelsey needs additional attorneys? Like right now, she's got Tim Bradle, just like Aiden had Tim Bradle, just like Karen had David Unetti,
Kelly Reed,
and Kelly Reed. And is it possible that maybe at some point, with a very big backing of supporters, financial contributions, which are rolling in right now as we speak, where Kelsey goes out and gets another attorney or two? And could it be possible?
Did you hear about her other attorney?
No, I did not. Oh, it did happen. Okay, I did not hear this.
This should be another signal to everybody, like that there's something to this.
Mm-hmm.
The former Attorney General of Massachusetts, Martha Coakley,
is
her attorney now.
Okay.
So
I did not know that.
That should tell you a lot. Like Martha Coakley doesn't get involved, and I guess Martha Coakley was like, "Wow, this is basically the head law enforcement agent in the state." She was Maura Healey before Maura Healey. Except the difference between her and Maura Healey is Martha lost when she ran for governor, but Maura won. But she used to be the attorney general. I mean, and not too long ago. And that's what's I can't believe this judge acted that way. That judge. That judge is a woman judge. She knows who Martha Coakley is. She knows Tim Bradle.
Yeah.
Actually, this attorney started out in Suffolk County as a prosecutor where Tim Bradle started. So this judge, when she acted out like that, she knows Tim Bradle and she definitely knows Martha Coakley, and they're both sitting there. So it's
and Mike, you're aware about a lot of the ins and outs of the politics there. And Alan Jackson was saying on Billy Bush, that shit goes back to the colonial times. You know, like as far back as the history of Boston itself goes, is how deep rooted this madness is. And it's just like, just the thought of that is disheartening. You know, like, how do you fight that? You know, it's wild, dude. It's like mind blowing when you think about it.
It's funny because, like, if you look at the history of this area and just New England, the settlers, like, there's a Protestant, the Brahmins. They're the ones who had the real money, the Dutch and the English. And then the Irish Catholics came in, and we were all like this. I'm Irish Catholic. We're the stepchildren. You know what I mean? Like, no Irish allowed. But now who actually runs shit? It's like the Brahmins and the Irish together. You know what I mean? It's like this Protestant Catholic thing. Like the cops, and the judges, a lot of them are Irish. There's still some of that Protestant Brahmin old money. You know, the real old money. But yeah, it's definitely this stuff goes back generations, definitely.
Yeah. So how recently did Martha Coakley officially become her attorney? Was that when they did that press conference? Was she already on board as that attorney at that point, or did this happen in the time afterwards and I just missed that story?
Pretty recent.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I would say a couple months. You know?
Okay.
And I don't think it's been reported in a few news stories. You know, when Kelsey was released, Martha was there. Martha was there that day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure exactly when she came on, but it's been more recently.
Mm-hmm. And so Bradle's functioning as the primary attorney overall, and then
I think they're both co-attorneys.
Equal.
They work in tandem.
Okay.
They seem very happy with, yeah. And I got to say, Martha Coakley's husband is a former police officer too. So, I mean, this is a woman that married a cop. Her claim to fame was she was a DA in Middlesex, one of the biggest district attorney's offices in Massachusetts. Like, that's the big suburb. That's a lot of money, a lot of suburban area. And then she became the attorney general for several terms. So this is the chief law enforcement officer in Massachusetts, married to a cop. So I think that she knows something's up. She wouldn't be involved in this. She wouldn't be putting her reputation on this if she did know something was up.
Is she pro bono on this?
I don't know. I have no idea on the.
I wouldn't be shocked. I usually, someone of that stature is jumping in. It's more of a moral interest than it is a job-based duty where you provide a law-based service and you have client. You know what I'm saying? It might be something like that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Not that that's
I
our
gotta
business.
say, I had a good experience with Martha Coakley back in the day, and then I went campaign against her for a while because she was against cannabis. She didn't like any of the cannabis stuff. But I gotta say, like when I first started dating my girlfriend way back, she had a crazy ex-boyfriend that was kind of stalking us.
Yeah,
and he did something crazy, threatened me, and I was really worried about my girlfriend more than me if I wasn't around. And so they were like, we don't do it. This was so long ago. They were like, we don't consider internet threats real threats. And then they saw the threat. It was Martha Coakley's office. And they were we don't do this, but we're going to give you guys the restraining order. I'm like, I don't want it. I'm not taking it. I'm a guy. I'm not afraid of this guy.
I'm
exactly. Not taking it. Give it to her. And they're like, but he threatened to kill you. And I'm like, yeah, but it's really her. I'm not, I'm worried if I'm not home. If he comes here when I'm here, he's done. Like, come on.
Right.
So they gave it to her. And that's so I was like, I like Martha Coakley because they said they weren't going to do something. And then they looked at it and they were like, okay. So that's my only experience with her beyond the cannabis stuff.
Right.
But when she was there that day, her husband pulled up and they opened the door and 2 black labs come out of the back of the car. She brought her black labs to court. Her husband had them in the car with her, which I thought was so cool. She didn't leave the dogs at home.
Wow.
They were cute too.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's interesting how all of this has transcended politics too, in terms of we're a country strong rooted in a 2-party system, primarily with Republicans and Democrats, and police and anti-police. Right? There's been a lot of that in this country as well, and it's amazing how. All individuals with the Karen Reed case, Turtleboy's case, several other cases, Sandra Birchmore just en route, and now Kelsey Fitz Simmons. We're kind of all
think about
putting that aside.
That's like Martha Coakley,
right?
A Democrat,
right?
She's teaming up with Turtleboy's attorney.
I mean, she's a big name, and Bradle's
not a liberal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you talk to Bradle, So I mean that is it just shows you like she knows I guarantee you that's not like a popular thing in her Democratic circles that she's
No.
helping Turtleboy's attorney, but
We
Right.
gotta,
she's doing it for the right reason.
yeah, we that's a good thing too, and we need that because we really need to break out of this whole categorizing free speech into a party. Like
Right.
whether or not is this party against free speech or is this party for free speech? You need to just simply look at free speech for what it is, determine what it is, and be able to go, hey, sometimes these people are trying to use free speech against someone else in their favor, and these people are trying to do the same thing. It's not that hard to believe. It happened during COVID, and it's happening now with the Jimmy Kimmel thing. Both opposite sides, and they're both abusing it. So, and they're both abusing the claim of it. Like, oh, you're abusing our free speech. You're trying to cheat us out of our free speech. But we need to just look at free speech for what it is and what constitutes free speech. And what it boils down to is anything. Like you are free speech, in my opinion, is absolute unless it is threatening. You cannot threaten people, but you are going to hear things. It means you're going to hear things that you're not going to like. You're going to hear things that are going to offend you, and you're just going to have to learn to process it. It's just how that's how free speech is going to prosper overall, is not just when we are comfortable saying whatever comes to our minds, but being comfortable with hearing someone else say whatever comes to their mind and being ready for whatever it is. That's it.
Right.
Until we're ready to do that, we don't get to sit here and whine and bitch about free speech.
You know, I think everyone too, like on both sides of that political divide, at this point, you should have seen it. Like you've seen it happen to your side now, right? Like both sides have seen the government come in and pull shit like that's, and I'm against it, whether it's right, left, middle. It's like
exactly.
I don't really care as much when people try to shut people down, like with the YouTube show, whatever that is. You know, it's the government. When the government gets involved, and then we've seen it. The government was pressuring YouTube and all these other places to shut down people during COVID. We know that, and now the government's doing the same fucking shit to Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, I get some people don't care about Jimmy Kimmel because he's a millionaire. I really don't care. I don't. But what I don't like is that the government is forcing these corporations. The government basically threatened the corporations. They said, look, you're not going to get your mergers if you don't get this guy off the air. Is there any
proof of that, though? Did that happen for sure?
Yeah, he did. He did it right on a podcast. I mean, the guy went on a podcast and basically
saying that the FCC, like, do we have proof that the FCC threatened the corporations that employ Jimmy Kimmel? Do we have proof of that?
He went on the air. He did it on a show, and he basically,
Who went on the air?
You can read between the lines. They're not going to say, "Hey, you're not going to get your merger." They're not. He's not explicitly saying that, but they know what
on the air and
what it means. You know what I mean? You read between the lines. They know that they want their mergers to go through. So that's exactly like these, and it's not even ABC. It's those other regional carriers that own the ABC local networks. You know what I mean? They all want a merger.
You said he went on a podcast and said, who went on the podcast?
The FCC chair.
The FCC chair.
FCC chair.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that was what I was like. You keep saying
so like those what was that Nexstar? Like they own a bunch of ABC channels. They want a merger with another company, and they know that the FCC will block it. You know, so
yeah, no, that's I'm in 100% agreement with you. There's no reason why on any government level. Now, I don't agree as far as I just don't believe in the whole mob mentality. Like, if you just simply don't like somebody, don't listen to them, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just really funny that all of these Jimmy Kimmel people, these are the same people that justified canceling Roseanne. Like they kicked her off of her own show. And the thing about it too, totally canceled.
He would have gotten canceled anyway.
It was the same company too.
Like Jimmy Kimmel was going to get canceled. I don't know if it would have happened this year or next year or the year after. Eventually, because the revenue stream's gone. Like they're going down. Like the what do we call that? The unplugging, getting out of. No one watches it anymore. No one's watching network television. There's 8 million things to watch. They're watching YouTube. Watching,
Late night has been going down for a while too. For years, all the ratings have gone down. I think the thing is too is like I said with YouTube, like Saturday Night Live, that, you know, that is obviously, I haven't watched Saturday Night Live in a long time, but they say like comedy across multiple platforms has just gone down, like Hollywood movies. Like, when's the last like
I
big
just
time?
don't buy into any of the bullshit anymore.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
all.
Yeah, comedy movies used to be huge. The Hangover was a huge movie. Nowadays, it's like, do you ever hear about a comedy movie or a comedy show? It's, I don't know. Maybe I'm forgetting.
I can't remember last time I went to the movies. You know what I mean? I watch stuff on home.
Superman.
Like,
I went to go see Superman.
The best way I can explain myself is like, it's like, okay, I'm not a Jimmy Kimmel fan. I don't think he's funny, but that's besides the point. It's that I don't have anything against Jimmy Kimmel. You know what I mean? Like, but the thing is he's entitled to express his opinion. In my opinion, I don't agree with his opinion, but he has every right to express it. I choose not to watch him. I don't relate to it. I don't enjoy it. So it is what it is. But the thing is, though, is with Jimmy Kimmel, though, it's not that I stand with Jimmy Kimmel or that I don't stand with Jimmy Kimmel. I don't stand with the jackasses that keep saying I stand with Jimmy Kimmel. I don't like those people. I don't like any of those people at all. This whole herd mentality that is so hypocritical, because all of those people pushed all during COVID and all throughout Trump's first administration to cancel as many people as they possibly could. They banded together to do this. You're saying something I don't like, so it's transphobic. You're saying something I don't like, so it's homophobic. You're saying something I don't like, so it's racist. You're saying something I don't like, so you want to get people killed from a pandemic. Blah, 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 blah. This was happening all the time. So now those same people are, I stand with Jimmy Kimmel in the First Amendment, and I'm like, no, you don't. You're liars. That's where I'm at.
I'd say it's a lot of that on both sides too, because
I agree.
I agree. There's very few that are like you, Will, that will say it on both sides. Like, that's what I like to see, though. I'm starting to see some right wing people who are saying this is wrong. Look at even Aiden said the same shit. You know, the Minahane. You see what Minahane said? He went nuts. They're showing him on liberal networks. It's hilarious.
I just don't want to hear this. Oh, it's not cancel culture. It's consequence culture. No,
yeah, I don't like that either.
That is a bullshit term that you have put out there, designed to excuse cancel culture, designed to justify you canceling people. That's all that is. Stop it. And the only reason it didn't come up back during COVID and in 2020 was because the liberals didn't think of it. That's it. Now the conservatives thought of it, and so now it's a thing. And it's no. It's cancel culture. I don't care what you say. It's cancel culture. It is. Banding together and going, no. Boycott this person. Don't watch this person. Get this person canceled. That's cancel culture. I don't care what you say.
You know what I think is funny? It's like, I find that, like you said, I don't give two shits that the only thing that bothers me is the FCC got involved. I don't like that part of it. I don't like the government censoring. But honestly, I don't like. There's not going to be any part of me that's like, oh shit, I wish Jimmy Kimmel was still on. Like, there's none of that. And I just feel like so much energy and discussion gets caught up in stuff that really doesn't matter.
Yeah,
like this is our politics are so messed up in this country. We're crying about fucking TV shows and movies and shit like that. It's like,
we have bigger
I
problems.
don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
Like it'd be more important to to cry about a play, like a referee screwing up a play in the NFL. I mean, that's more important. Like,
it is more important.
Yeah.
The Patriots get a lot of bad calls.
It doesn't affect
the Patriots get called for pass interference today, and the ball was thrown out of bounds like 10 feet over the receiver's head on the Steelers. It was ridiculous. So that referee we need to be
more important.
Cancel that ref.
It doesn't affect anybody except
the people who worked on that show. That's who I feel bad for. The people who got laid off on that show. That's about it.
Yep.
Not Jimmy Kimmel. He'll be fine. He'll make millions somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. He's gonna be fine. That's what I love, that they're acting like he's victimized in some sort of way. Dude, anybody who ends up, in my opinion, going independent at this point is a step forward. Anybody who gets canceled by mainstream media and then goes independent and has all this public support, I love that Jimmy Kimmel is going to have that. I love it, even though I don't like the guy, but I love that he's going to have that, because that's a step forward for all independent media.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can always start your own YouTube channel. Didn't Billy Bush, was Billy Bush canceled at some point too?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think he got canceled because of Trump?
So it's a Trump, right? The extra B-roll or whatever.
That was a shitty thing for him because that wasn't his fault. It's
No.
like Trump says some shit and he loses his job. Come on. I thought that was bull.
Who
was he supposed to say?
Him. I didn't even know that was him until somebody told me recently, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
I was
that
like,
was Billy Bush. That's him. Yeah, I didn't even know that either. I'm like, wait a sec, that is the same guy. I totally forgot about that myself.
I mean, what was he supposed to do in that situation? Was he supposed to say, "Mr. Trump, stop sexualizing those women"? Like he's trying to interview the guy. Like he's.
Yeah.
What's he gonna cancel on the guy? I mean, I don't know. I don't know why they canceled Billy on that.
But like
they didn't cancel
Billy
Trump,
Bush,
but they canceled Billy. Trump said
Billy,
the shit.
Right. And
that's what's wrong with America.
All Billy Bush has to do is just get some of the old people that liked him before and enjoyed doing interviews with him. He's just got to lock some of them down on his YouTube channel, and he's going to be on his own better than ever. You know what I mean?
Boss.
Right. Exactly. Like anybody in theory that's trying to do this, man, I just want to see them grow. I want to see Justice Serve TV grow, like totally independent. You know, these are people who have like experience. Like Michael Bryant interviewed OJ. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like these are established attorneys and established broadcasters. You know what I mean? Like, and now they're like, we're taking our shot going independent. You know, I want to see these people grow. I want to see Billy Bush grow. Like, absolutely. I think he's hilarious and he's not holding back. So I see what he's trying to do and I am on board for it.
Definitely.
Absolutely. A lot of good money being raised here tonight.
Independent.
Yeah, no, independent's the way to go. I'd rather, I was, I wanted to have, I wanted to work at a TV studio years back, out of college, and that never really crystallized because it's all these big studios. You could have all this experience, and you really can't get smaller experience anywhere that's not hundreds of thousands of miles away. And then little by little over the years, I do YouTube stuff, and like this is what I always wanted to do is YouTube shows and radio/TV all at once. This is like I like to talk about real world matters, but also we don't also have to talk about network narrative. Network, like when Paul Pierce worked for ESPN. He didn't like the fact that they always wanted to talk about the Lakers and they always wanted to talk about LeBron James. When you're independent, you can talk about whatever you want. If you want to have every show be about Karen Reed, every show be about Turtleboy, every show be about Kelsey Fitz Simmons, every show be about whatever you want, well, you can do that. You control the narrative, which is not the narrative, but whatever the narrative is exactly. You can kind of go in there. If Will wants to go on a show, flip off the people you don't like, you can do that. If that was done on ABC or ESPN or CNN or Fox News, you'd probably walking out the door with your envelope, your briefcase there with all your files. You're trying to find another job.
I could cover a trial, or I could do a petty stream, whatever the fuck I want.
No sponsors to worry about. That's what
right.
We used to do internet radio, and we get these sponsors on, and they'd always be trying to trade on our credibility. And this happened, I don't know how many times, where I would find out the sponsor of the show would do something shady, and I'd go up on our show and blast them, and then we'd lose the fucking sponsor. Like it happened over because the shadiest people would try to like reputation.
These are my sponsors. The people who are subscribed to my channel. Right. These are our sponsors.
Right.
Love them.
And
we don't have to worry about corporate scumbags who are trying.
Right, exactly. And that's another thing too. Is a lot of these networks, they're influenced by corporate interests that are sponsoring their programming and want certain things set on the network that are beyond, buy that baking soda,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, what's funny is it's like if I get these emails from people all the time that are like, we have this product and we'd love for you to
read the script.
Basically use 60 seconds out of every live stream, blah blah blah. So I mean, my whole thing is like, sure, I'd love to have that income, but
right.
my real sponsors, these people, like the catch is I get to read it my own way. I get to make fun of your product. I guarantee you there's more of a chance of it selling if I do it that way than if I just sit there and read a script that you told me to read. You know what I'm saying? And then I never hear anything back. And then I'm like, whatever. I still got my sponsors anyway.
Right. So you had Chia Pet. Chia Pet's one of your sponsors, right? Yeah. You're like, this product sucks. Who the hell wants a Chia Pet? What the hell is it?
I'll make a skit out of it. I'll make it the most outrageous selling point that I possibly can. And I will try to sell it, but I'm going to do it my way.
Right.
And if they're cool with that, I'm happy to shill somebody's product for 60 seconds on my channel.
I'm working on one of those right now, and I'm like, that's exactly what they want. They want the approval. It's so fun. Like, they have to approve it. And I thought the same thing. Well, like, if they're probably going to tell me I didn't do it right, because I'm not good at reading scripts. Like,
it's because we don't give a shit whether they approve it or not. Like, here's the deal. If you want it, like, we're not losing.
I know, right? That's pretty much what I'll probably do.
Right.
I'll say, you take it or leave it. Morgan and Morgan. That's the one. That's the first one I've considered. I still haven't done it. They're after me. They're like, Morgan and Morgan's hitting me up every day. Have you done it yet? No, I haven't done the ad.
Dude, for me, it's like, what good is this doing this on my terms if I don't really like test those limits? If I don't get an opportunity and say, I mean, some people, and I understand that a lot of people would be like, well, that's stupid. You have an opportunity to have advertisers and blah, blah, blah. That's more income. And sure, that's kind of stupid to kind of kamikaze that shit. But at the same time, to me, it's worth it to be like, well, what if I just come up with the most outrageous way to shill that shit? And then, how awesome would it be? It doesn't make any, I don't lose anything if they reject it, but how awesome would it be if they are like cool with it? And then we manage to come up with this really fun little campaign and sell their product. But, it would take them being innovative enough and to be okay with that.
Someone just said the reason I come to YouTube is I was sick of Morgan and Morgan ads on TV. Maybe I shouldn't do those ads. They have a point. Like, those ads are everywhere. I'm sorry. I'll reconsider.
And how much fun would it be just to make fun of the target audience that is watching Morgan and Morgan commercials on TV? Like, you're on the internet. So right there, I'm already coming up with ideas like, all right, well, I'm just going to make fun of those fart couching, Dorito eating, sleeping until 2 p.m. people that are watching Morgan and Morgan commercials. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what is Morgan and Morgan?
Yeah, I'm gonna find a way to make fun of them, and like, they'll never have that. But like,
no,
to me, it's hilarious. And I feel like it would sell because the people watching on our YouTube are not necessarily the people that are watching it on TV. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right.
Someone's asking, who is Morgan and Morgan? It's a big not insurance, a big lawyer firm that sues people and does class action suits.
Ambulance
if you
chaser,
smoke cigarettes and didn't read the warning labels,
right. Ambulance chaser. Those commercials come on TV when you're watching Jerry Springer, when you're watching Judge Judy.
If you inhaled asbestos at if you drank contaminated water at Fort Hood, you like that stuff.
Did you inhale asbestos the one time you were able to get out of the house and unglue your ass off of the fucking couch because you're too lazy to work? So now I'm giving you an opportunity to
I'm going to have you do them, Clara. You're going to record
Clara advertisement.
I'm going to be fucking awesome.
Clara can read for you. Can read those advertisements for you. Exactly.
Are you too lazy to get up and get a fucking job, but you can actually go through the process of contacting a lawyer, going to their office, filing all kinds of paperwork, just so you don't have to work?
Have you seen a ghost, spook, or specter? Call the professionals, the Ghostbusters. Oh my God, those local commercials are always a riot. Oh my goodness, it's like, have you been injured on the job? Do you need an attorney? Are you tired of standing up to big business all on your own? We'll hire the professionals. We can help you.
Exactly. Does the doctor say you need a backiotomy?
Right. At JR22 and Son on Main Street, outside of Boston, because we can't afford an office in Boston, you can hire us.
Are you lying on your couch right now? Are you having trouble seeing straight? Are you having trouble staying awake? Well, you could have a class action lawsuit, blah, blah, blah. And then it's just like, well, wait a minute. Yeah, that's why I don't want to get my ass up and get a job. I thought it was the weed I was smoking. Fuck, I might have a lawsuit.
Some money.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to cash in.
Yeah. Oh my It's all right. Those commercials are crazy.
Personal
man.
injury. Yes. Did you
Yeah.
slip and fall?
Right. Have you
You-
slipped and fall?
People don't think they don't put together target demographic. You know,
Jim
what I mean?
Sokolov,
Like,
yeah. The attorney is office of Jim Sokolov.
yeah.
That's a local
Like,
one. That's
What about the I have an annuity, but I need cash now. Oh, JG Whitworth. Like that shit goes over most people's heads, but some people are like,
Yeah.
oh well shit, I'm supposed to get this settlement because I sued somebody and
Right.
I'm only getting it in increments, and I could just go and give half my money to these assholes and they'll give me the whole amount.
right.
Like because I don't want to get up and go to work and I need crack.
right.
That's
Spend it all now.
right. I need it right now.
I need to spend it all in a year.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what people do. I hear those ads all the time, JJ Wentworth. I think those are on Howie Carr.
What was that commercial? It's your money. Do what you want with it, or use it how you need it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Who was that
Your
guy? That
money.
little guy that looked like the Riddler. He used to have like the dollar signs instead of the Riddler signs
Oh
on
my
his
god,
jacket.
I know
He's
what
like,
you're talking about.
yeah, forget that guy. That
It's
guy
your
was
money.
a riot.
Use it how you need it.
That one, yeah, exactly. You could be missing out on thousands.
It's amazing.
Oh no.
Oh my goodness! Then you got all those other commercials out that sell you these random products. It's like the what's that? The stuff. It's like the filler stuff. It's like the guy put it in the bottom of the boat one time. He's like, oh, I fixed the bottom of my.
The glue
glue
stuff,
guy,
whatever
yeah.
it is.
Oh my
The
goodness.
magic putty.
Oh my goodness, those commercials are wild. It's like I don't need this stuff. It's like no, I don't. That's the stuff like all the elderly
Jim,
tend to
wow.
buy. Like my grandparents used to buy that stuff. It's like why are you buying this stuff? It's useless. Well, I saw the commercial.
And then the Sarah McLaughlin commercial that you got to donate and help the children.
Oh, the
It's
ones I
only-
love are
It's only 10 cents a month.
Yeah.
the ones I love are the Shriners commercial. Shriners Hospital. They have the cutest kids. Have you seen the kids?
Yeah. Shriners
Yeah.
actually does their commercials
Little
properly.
shakedown artists. I say
Yeah.
every time they come
Yeah.
on, my girlfriend's like, "Here they are, the shakedown artists.
And
They're
then
so
there's
cute. They're making us send money."
Yeah.
and the
They're so
Job
freaking
Corps
cute.
commercials. Job
Yeah.
Corps. Those are always fun. I
Yeah.
went to my family. They were like, no, you're not leaving. Job Corps, bro. Like, go to the Job Corps. Like, you're too fucking lazy to go out door to door and ask for applications. You know?
Right,
Like, and now
right.
you don't even have to do that. Like, all you have to do is like literally you just go online. That's it. Like, and it's like, oh my god, this application don't work. I'm not doing this shit.
Get an Amazon wish list.
Dude,
Now we're digressing. Find me some plastic bags or some shit. We all know what I'm talking about. Oh man.
Oh man.
oh my god.
All right, we're gonna go with our final numbers here. We're burning the midnight oil here on
We are.
MazzaMedia.
We all just got really punchy.
That's all right. But we did a great job. We did about 3 hours, which was our goal today. We also raised definitely over $2,000 total tonight for all three funds. $585 to Aiden's defense fund. Mike, to the left of your screen, $805 to Mike Crawford's defense fund, and then Kelsey Fitz Simmons, $895
Hell yeah.
to her defense fund on tonight's program, which is absolutely fantastic. I'll put down the total on my X page. Is just the overall total, but just thankful to have all these. Like I said, I was thinking about I want to do a fundraiser. My big problem, I don't know who to do a fundraiser for. I said, you know what if we just did a triple fundraiser and just let the audience choose where they want to send their money to, and some actually sent it to more than one. They did a little donation for both or all three, so that was really cool as well. So I'm happy to see that. And Turtleboy's Halloween party is coming up soon, October 24th in Malden. I'm going to be there. I bought my ticket last night. I will be there. You can buy that. I put it on my X page. It's also, I believe, on Facebook on the Turtleboy page. Find that. Don't miss that party. It was a fun time last year. I went for the first time last year. This is the third annual, and I have a costume in mind of what I'm going to be for Halloween this year. I just got to see if I can bring it to reality, and it should be pretty awesome. But it looks like it's going to be a movie character. So
Sweet.
yeah, absolutely. So guys, I thank Nan Gallagher for being here tonight. She was here for 2 hours of the program, which was absolutely fantastic, especially on a Sunday night with the week ahead. The Glare has been here the entire time, over 3 hours with me. This man has a great channel, The Glare. You can find him anywhere but X right now because when he has opinions, unfortunately, social media is like, we got to get this guy off the channel. It's going to shut it down his page right now. But The Glare is the man. He's done a lot of great shows. Karen Reed, Turtleboy, some other topics as well. And it looks like he's going to start to look into Kelsey Fitz Simmons and get a little bit more depth before he forms an official in-depth opinion. But we appreciate him for that because that's what you want. You want people to believe what they believe because they've done the research and they honestly and earnestly believe that. So we'll look forward to some of your shows on that. 12-hour fundraisers, I'm sure, are coming at some point soon. And Mike from the Young Jurks. Me and Mike have known each other for a long time as well. And Mike has a great show, The Young Jurks, on YouTube, on X. I believe you're on Facebook as well. And Mike is doing multiple topics, following some other cases as well. Streams a lot of stuff as well. A lot of live streams you can catch in courtrooms, local select board meetings such as Canton as well. And I'll give you guys both your final thoughts, and I'll start with you.
Just, man, thank you everybody for all your donations, man. Every single donation is a fight for justice, whether it be for free speech or whether it be for someone's just their basic civil rights. One civil right is not more important than the other, but I mean, there is a reason why the First Amendment is number one. But it's not to say that it's more important necessarily than any of the others. Everyone's civil rights are their God-given rights, and every donation is not just in support of Turtleboy or Kelsey or Mike. It is in support of the things that they are fighting for. So thank you guys for taking the time and hanging out. I had a blast, and thanks for all your donations and all your generosity, and Mazza for throwing this little shindig and inviting me. It means the world to me that you invited me. Thanks, man.
Thank you, man. Likewise, too. I appreciate you inviting me on your channel as well for these fundraisers as well. It's
always, man. And Mike, always good talking to you, man.
Thank you.
Good to see you, bud.
Thanks.
Best of luck with your case.
Hopefully it goes good. I mean, that's why I want to thank everyone. I keep saying this, like free speech isn't really free. It costs a lot of money to defend it, and that's what Turtleboy's going through. That's what I'm going through. And Kelsey's good even beyond that. I mean, she's looking for her freedom. Turtleboy is too. I mean, Turtleboy and Kelsey, their freedom is on the line. So if you could donate, I really appreciate all the donations. Everyone who kicks in, it makes a big difference. And I'm very thankful for this community, how generous everybody is. I want to thank Mazza for hosting tonight and doing the fundraisers. I want to thank Will. Thank you, Will, for being here.
And thanks to Nan, too. I forgot to say thanks to Nan
Gallagher. Yeah, she's awesome. I mean, she throws down for everybody. I can't thank Nan enough. She's like her time and her money and even her just advice. The advice too, even for my lawsuit, she pointed out some things, and I was like, "Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right." So I really appreciate Nan Gallagher and everybody who's watching, everyone who's donating. Even if you can't donate and you're just watching and sharing it makes a big difference because more people see it. And just to be here and see 1,000 people here for a fundraiser for all of us, I know it makes a difference for Kelsey's family watching tonight too. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mazza.
Yeah, it is huge. Thanks, you're welcome, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. It means the world to me. You guys join my program to help participate. I always feel like fundraisers are always more effective when we have more representatives from multiple channels to make it more of a collaborative effort, bring in a larger audience as well, which equals more money for these funds. And my message to the Kelsey Fitzsimmons family is I'm thankful you guys appreciate this. If you guys are out there watching, we're praying for you, but I also believe that raising money is a huge thing that we can do. We've done this for Turtleboy, Karen Reed, and Mike the Young Jurks, obviously, as well. But I think that that's going to be something that's going to be helpful. Is a lot of times these situations are money-based, and I think that we helped out Karen Reed extraordinarily by donating to her defense fund and giving her the financial, equipping her financially to stand her ground. And like Kelsey said, the truth will come out. And yeah, I think that all of us in the state and everybody else supporting her and contributing to her defense fund will help her be most effectively equipped to do that. And I'm going to do this too. I'm going to make a $105 donation right after this show to her defense fund for the first time. I'm going to make that $1,000 tonight. So I have not donated to Kelsey yet, but I always forget that during my shows, I always forget to donate during the show too. So we'll make Kelsey's fundraiser total 1,000 and get that up to that. And as Mike knows I've donated to him.
Do you know what the amount is that she's raised total now?
She's raised $15,684 plus the extra 105 that I'm going to put in. And she was only like, I think a week ago, $6,000. So it's gone up over $10,000
in a week.
Yeah. Quite a bit.
While she's been in jail. I mean, you think about how that must make her feel, knowing that all of a sudden all this money's coming in and she's in jail. She must know, wow, people are actually supporting me here. You know?
Right, absolutely, and it's fantastic to just help out someone, and you feel good about it when you're helping somebody. And like with me, I want to be able to help people move forward in their lives that I feel are being dealt a bad hand or a hand that's not fully in line with what reality is. Is that basically they either didn't do it or they didn't do it how they said they did it, and it's a situation that's kind of the cards are stacked against them, and I don't like that. It's something that, like you say, you see me get angry earlier in the show. I drop an F-bomb on the show. I don't do it much. That's the kind of stuff that triggers that out of me. You know what I mean?
You dropped an MF bomb.
Right? Yeah. Oh yeah.
No way. I'm gonna have to replay that.
Yeah. The Kathleen Judge Kathleen McCarthy name and kind of.
I like what Turtleboy called her, the hyphenated. Yeah. I'm not gonna say it. I can't say it.
Right. Yeah.
You know what he called her, right?
No, I didn't hear that. No, I might have heard it, but I can't remember.
The hyphenated C.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I did hear that one. That one I heard for sure.
I'm too nice. I can't use it.
That's all right.
I can. I just choose not to on other people's channels.
Right.
There you go. That too. I couldn't do it on Mazza's channel. If I was going to do it on anyone's channel, I'd have to do it on mine. You're right.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So perfect. All right. So that will be the show, guys. Thank you guys so much. Tune into the Young Jurks. Tune into the Glare. I'm sure you guys probably got lives going tomorrow. And thank you to everybody. And I'll put my donation to Kelsey Fitz Simmons right after the show to make it a nice even $1,000 right across the board. So that'll do it, folks. And thank you for your time. From MazzaMedia, thank you, Dan Gallagher. Thank you, Glare. Thank you, Mike Crawford from the Young Jurks. Free Turtleboy. Free Mike Crawford. Free Kelsey Fitz Simmons. Everybody have a fantastic night. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.